You're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, madam and mademoiselles, welcome to another rendition of Haunters Anonymous Live. I'm so glad that there's no one listening right now. I'm kidding. Sunday night chat. If you were with us on the last session, you were with us for over 4 hours, and yep, I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Tonight we have Lee of Lee's Magic Wonderment Travel Agent something something. We'll put the we'll put the link down there. It's way too long, Lee. If you're listening already, that's just way too long for a Facebook page. But we're gonna have her on in a little bit, and she is actually a fantastic person, fantastic travel agent. If you need anything once all this mess is over, please give Lee a call. She's gonna kind of fill us in on the state of the travel industry, as far as the way she can see it right now with all the stuff going on, and tell us any secrets or not that she may know of what's going on at our Halloween Horror Nights and Disney's Not So Scary Whatnot to the Meow Meow, and uh, just in general. So we'll have her on a little bit. Little factoid I do about 5 minutes away. So I have to be really nice to her, or she will come right to my house and punch me in the throat. So uh, definitely stick around. Uh, and of course, the same antics and adventures that we have, rambling through the news of the day as far as haunted attractions, Halloween, and everything in between. So if you have any questions, definitely leave us a comment. Hopefully, some of our regulars show up and come by and get us rolling. I am full of caffeine, so we might be 10 hours tonight. I don't know. I'm kidding. So yeah, let us know you're here. Let us know where you're from. Let us know if you are part of a haunt or not, or if you work at one, volunteer at one. Maybe you're a vendor. Maybe you serve elephant ears. Maybe you should make some elephant ears for me right now and FedEx them. That'd be great.
Um,
So
I believe she's ready. So go ahead and let her in the room to join, and
okay,
you can go ahead and start with that. All right.
Lee, are you with us, Lee?
I'm here.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't have to get my damn Ouija board.
Well, you might.
Yay! How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Went out to the beach, enjoyed that a little bit. Other than
Yes,
that,
I
you
saw
know,
that. I saw it. Was it? How was the weather?
gloomy. Just what I wanted because if it would have been any better, I would have probably broken the law and gone out to the beach. Actually, into the water.
I don't think
Yes.
anybody would stop you, Lee. Honestly,
No,
and
not likely.
No,
I, I'm pretty sure you'd karate chop somebody somewhere. So,
just slightly.
so,
It's
so
really really depressing to not be able to go to the beach on just any given day, and certainly on a weekend. When nothing else is going on and you've been locked in a house for days.
it'll get better. It'll all. I mean, it's all about safety, and it'll get better. And you can go out there, and we can see all your pictures of your feet next to the water,
Of
which we have to
course.
see all
I'm
the
not
time.
gonna show
But
it. I'm not gonna show anything else. I mean, come on.
thank God. So, hey, but let everybody know who you are and what you do, and your business and your Facebook page, and we'll put a link on that.
Link's
And give us
already
a
up.
Well,
lowdown.
I've
Oh, there you
heard
go.
you totally massacred the name. And yes, I agree. It's long, but hey, it is what it is. Yep, I'm a travel agent extraordinaire. I'm planning all these magical vacations to places that I wish I can go, and some I have. Um, I'm currently with Amazing Magical Adventures. We're all self-employed though, so not like with some big giant corporation. Which, if anything, if anyone has learned anything from this pandemic, is buy small businesses, support your local. I mean, and that's exactly what travel agents are. We are small businesses. We work on commission alone. We're not employees. We don't receive a paycheck. Matter of fact, what's really bad is we don't receive money until you've traveled. And generally, about 60 days later, we might get paid. Maybe.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes we have to hunt it down, and certain vendors we have to say, "Hey, my client's traveled. Where's my money?" So we truly are working for free when we're booking vacations and told you actually go on that trip and enjoy your vacation. But we're not in it for the money. And if you are, you need to find another business.
And I can attest that she is somebody you want on your side. She has been a person we used every time for the last 2 or 3 years. She
Oh yeah.
handles all our trips to Disney and Universal, and it's good knowing that she's on your side if there's any issues.
Oh yeah. I mean, would you rather book with a large company and have to call, random number and deal with, whoever on the other end, or send me a text message at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, yeah, Tiffany wants to be pampered, so we need we need a massage booked or something. That's what I'm here for. Or when you need to cancel and craziness comes up. I mean,
Yep.
that's another thing that we're here for. Would you rather spend 5 6 hours on hold, or would you rather send me a text message and say, hey, yeah, we're not going to be able to go, can you see what we can do and get our money back? And I'm the one on phone fighting to get your money back. And I've been successful in getting even some non-refundable things back. Just and no, I didn't try to beat anyone. you know I used my nice southern charm. That I don't think Mike has seen any of that side though.
what what's your charm?
Yeah, I don't think you've seen that side of me.
No, I've seen plenty of that. I've seen plenty. I mean, I've seen all the above, but you know, uh, I only talk smack about you because I've known you for so long, and I know you're awesome, and
How
I also
long have
know
we
how.
known each other? Lord.
Uh, it's funny, Lee. I don't remember. It's been so long. Um, yeah, I'm really bad at that anyway, so you'd probably be
Yeah.
better at remembering that. But it's been a long time.
I mean, if
So
it was 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's
It's
Uh,
it's close to that. I mean, it's been a long time. I mean,
it's I think let's see, it's well, I think it's a bit longer than that, but don't quote me
oh
on it.
Lord.
I don't
Probably right. You probably, the one time I'm going to tell you you're right. Yeah, you're probably right.
know. Well, I wouldn't say I was right, but it's been a while. It's been a while. Like I said, I've known you long enough to know that you're a cool gal and got a lot of spunk to you, but also got a lot of heart. So uh, that's the only compliment you're gonna get from me. So just take it.
Remember, I know where you live.
I can hear
Matter
I
of
know.
fact,
I can hear Tiffany laughing from the other room at that comment.
matter of fact, we drove past your house today, and I was so wanting to jump out and come scare the crap out of you. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that to him today. I don't know.
Was
Might
my
get
car
shot.
here?
I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing a car or not. I'm not sure. I
Yeah,
just
'cause
know
I was out. I was out for a little bit.
we
Well, you're
drove
always.
by. He kind of takes that shortcut sometimes. He'll go past Sanders Beach area, and I kind of happen to look up and like, oh wait, we're near where's, oh yeah, here, that's his house. Yeah,
Well,
I've been tempted to just come knock on your door and run.
you
Let's
can
see.
try. You can try. I'll know who it is now though.
Fine,
But
okay, fine.
uh, well, Lee, tell us, how's everything going travel wise with this pandemic going on? I mean,
Um, yeah, it sucks. Absolutely sucks. The travel industry has basically imploded. Everything's being canceled. I mean, cruises are being canceled left and right. We still have no idea when or if cruises are even going to go out this year. Disney, we knew when Disney shut their doors for as long as they did, that's when the world kind of was like, whoa, wait a minute, Disney's closing and not, not knowing when they're going to open. It's kind of rattled a lot. And then, of course, with the borders being closed left and right, and other countries saying, no, you can't come, and everything, just imagine the thousands of vacations that people are having to cancel left and right. And like I said, we don't get paid until you travel. So initially, a lot of these people, these small, companies like ours and stuff, you know, a lot of our agents are seeing their entire business, their entire paychecks just completely disappear, just gone. Money that they thought they were going to get in a few weeks or a few months, gone. Just and we don't qualify for small business loans because a lot of people have day jobs. I have a day job. A lot of people have a day job, so they say, well, you're still working. Yeah, but some people don't work as much, and so the travel industry agents are just losing it left and right. But we're still there. We're still getting on the phone 4, 5, 6 hours to get these vacations canceled or rescheduled. We're trying to get all these refunds for people. We're trying to fight for getting non-refundable things refunded because, well, hey, they would go if the government would let them, but so it's pretty much everybody's on pins and needles. Everybody's, I think, sort of waiting to see what Disney does, to be honest with you, because they're the largest travel company in the world, and they're kind of, everybody's like, well, what are they doing? What are they doing? Now, granted, some places have stepped outside the box and closed things before they did, but at the same time, they're watching what they're doing, and you know, with the uncertainty, are they going to be open in the end of May? I'm going to be honest, I don't think so. I don't see it. I'm just going off of the fact that a lot of um, the you know cast members have been let go. They've been furloughed. The Disney College program, they've all been let go. The cultural program, all the people that you see working in Epcot from other countries, they've all been sent home. So how is Disney going to open when a good large percentage of their employees are gone? A lot of their employees are those college students and that sort of thing, and they're just now starting for the fall for openings for August, for the cultural program. They're, apply now for August.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
um, you know, I just, I would love if they would open. I see if they do open, it will probably be, a little bit at a time. It may not be across the board. It may be like a few hours here, a few hours there. Because quite honestly, they just don't have enough full-time and part-time employees right now,
Wow.
to really, fill the parks up. I mean, they do, but they don't at the same time because that college program, that's a lot of students, and they've sent them all home. And the students that were supposed to be arriving here in the next couple of weeks, they've been told, sorry, we'll try you next time. So it's just a matter of, we're all looking at Disney at this point. What are they going to do? Now, the cruise lines, um, I quite frankly, I don't see them opening up until at least September, October, November at
Ooh.
the earliest. Simply
Wow.
because you got to think about it. Cruise lines are known to be, people tend to get sick easier on cruise lines because you got a lot of people in a small place. This, oh, who was that?
Refresh
Was
it.
that Tiffany?
Yeah. She was watching in the other room. She said it just cut out on her.
Oh, so
Uh-oh.
think about it though. Being on a cruise ship. I don't know if anyone out there's. I don't think Mike. Have you ever been on a cruise? You've never been.
I've not. My mom has, but I've never been on a cruise.
Yeah, I know. I know the rest. I know several. I know the Gleasons. Obviously, they've been on it. Although they haven't called me. Yes, they're gonna get it. um, you know, think about it. That's not where people want to be, on a floating, island type sort of thing, where they can't get off. And they saw the nightmare where these ships were not allowed back in the port, and they were stuck out in the ocean just floating, couldn't get off, and people were getting, sicker. They were stuck in their staterooms. And I don't know about you, but if you've been in a stateroom that does not have a window or a balcony, you will lose your mind quickly.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being in an interior room.
No, the very first cruise I did was out of New Orleans. It was a 7-night cruise. Went with my aunts. I'm not a fan of cruising. Yes, I know. Travel agent saying she's not a fan of some sort of travel, but I'm not. I'm just not. Now, you put me in a horror cruise, heck yeah, let's go. Right now, today. Um, Regular cruise, I'm not that big of a fan, and I tell you why. I don't like being stuck on something where I can't do anything. I'm not a big drinker. I don't gamble really. I mean, I'm certainly not going to gamble on the ships. I'm not going to get in the cesspool with
The
thousands of
cesspool.
other children floating around me. I'm just not going to do it. And to only have that limited time when you're in a port, and if you don't get back, you might miss the boat. That freaks me out. I mean, I like to chill and just, if I want to explore, if I want to explore. But the first cruise I went on, we went because of my aunt. She loves the cruise line. She is now platinum with the Carnival, and which is apparently is a big deal. She's been on a bajillion cruises. I didn't want to spend that much money on it because I knew I probably wouldn't have a good time, and I thought I'm not going to be in the room that long. So we booked an inside stateroom for myself and my cousin, and they booked a balcony one. Yeah, I should have booked a balcony because just sleeping in this thing, I was so claustrophobic. I I didn't want to spend 4 hours in the room, let alone, however long these people were stuck on that cruise. I would have lost my mind. I absolutely would have lost it. I would have been the one that you would have seen running down the hall to get to the top deck, because I'm losing it. That would be me. So I don't really see the cruise line industries, any of them. Um, I just don't see them opening right now because they've got a lot that they've got to come back from. Their reputation has been severely tarnished. They're clean. Every time I was on the cruise ships, I've been on multiple ones. They're always cleaning, but this, pandemic has shown that it's easy for something to spread. Very easy. I mean, and not just this virus, but think about, other viruses where people come off and they're sick. You see it all the time in the news. However many people are sick off such and such cruise ship. So I don't really see cruise lines recovering too well this year. Matter of fact, they've canceled everything up until mid-June, and I feel we'll probably be getting some more cancellations coming up after that. So I don't think Mark's gonna be going on his cruise as much as he wants to go on said cruise. I just don't see that happening. I mean, fingers crossed, but I don't see it happening. Now, if they say the parks are going to open next week, would I go? Absolutely. Yep. Would I wear a mask? No, probably not. But you got to do what's right for you. Wash your hands, take care of yourself. If you're sick, don't go out in public. I mean,
Right.
regardless whether you've got, low immunity or what have you, anyone can be taken by this, virus. It goes to show you, it doesn't matter, young, old, whatever, you know, it can happen. But would I go to Halloween Horror Nights if they opened up? Absolutely. Matter of fact, I was planning it today. My room's already booked. It's been booked. I'm not gonna go out there and buy any non-refundable tickets right now. But let's just say as soon as I get the green light, the rest of that's going to be taken care of. Hey, got my stimulus check, got to stimulate the economy, right? I mean, hey, you want to throw money at me? Yeah, I'm going to throw it right back at you.
So, but basically, you're just the one big thing you're telling folks is, um, do your booking, but be sure that you do stuff that just in case you can get an easy refund with it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, insurance will only, cover so much. That's what a lot of people think. Oh, I got insurance, like insurance. Well, insurance is exactly what that is. They can deny your claim just like a medical. They may not think that this is a refundable reason. And we have to go by the vendors. So if you purchase something that's non-refundable, you're taking a risk right now above any other time. I mean, I have clients that book non-refundable stuff all the time, and I tell them, oh, don't worry about it. You're going. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's non-refundable. Those Halloween Horror Night tickets. You're going. Right now, no, I wouldn't book anything that's non-refundable because what's happening is the vendors are changing their refund policy daily.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah. Whereas, one day that was refundable because they technically canceled it, and now uh, vendors are coming back and saying no, that's not refundable. It was never refundable. So, you just got to be careful. And, even if you have, the travel insurance, unless the claim that you're claiming you can't go is something that they're going to cover, which we don't know because as travel agents, we don't sell the insurance. Like we sell it to you, but we're not the insurance provider. So I can't speak for what they're going to cover or not cover. That's something you have to discuss with them. And quite honestly, it's like taking a dart and trying to hit the board and trying to see if you can win. You're taking a huge chance. So booking reservations that are refundable, yeah, no problem. I mean, Disney's, they're refundable. Their cancellation policy is pretty great. Universal's pretty good. They're, depending on if you do it with a package deal and that sort of thing. And even now, they've been pretty good with, refunding everybody, 100%, or, you know, rescheduling things and giving people discounts, which are, hey, it's working out for some people. They're getting, a really good deal for a vacation that, hey, all right, reschedule it for a few weeks later and I got, $400 off. Awesome. So, you just have to be careful if you're, I would say continue and plan, but I wouldn't book anything for June right now, be honest with you. July is kind of iffy, um, just because, we don't know where this is going. Um, luckily, we see the numbers are kind of in certain areas are not peaking, but when you start looking at the numbers in like New York and some of these other areas, you know, terrify you. Like, I would not go to New York right now. No. Would I go to my hometown, New Orleans? Um,
You
that's a
would.
hard. That's a
Don't
hard one.
lie.
Exactly. I
Don't lie.
know.
You just posted about Hadles. You'd go. Don't
Oh my
lie.
gosh, I
Don't
know.
lie. Don't lie to
It's
our public.
I just I don't know. I mean, but you got to think about it. New Orleans has always been dirty, so this isn't any new. I mean, the
Yeah.
virus honestly has no chance in New Orleans streets. I mean, but and that's joking aside, but you know, you just again, you just got to be careful. I'm not someone who's out there wearing a mask now. Most people don't know my day job. I work in the medical field. I'm not a nurse because I'm not that crazy, but I am front hand with patients. So I check them in, I check them out. I'm dealing with their insurance, so I'm right there face to face with people, and
A- And
I don't
thank
wear
you
a
for that.
mask.
Thank you for that, Lee, by the way. And I'm being serious. Thank you for even that. What you do is extremely important in the
Yeah, I
field.
mean,
So thank you for that.
unfortunately, I was furloughed, so I've been stuck at home
Oh,
with the rest of everybody. Yeah, I work.
really?
Yeah, I was working with a very large company here that, um, yeah, no, I wouldn't ever go back to this company. So I decided to leave and got another job with a very small doctor's office. It's just one doctor and her nurse practitioner. I literally just started, and then boom, this pandemic happened. So, you know, they were training me during this, which really honestly, I don't need training. I've been doing this for 20 years, but they just wanted to see how I work with them and, that sort of thing. And, we started getting to the point to where patients were scared to come to the doctor's office. So, yeah, they came to me and said, hey, look, we want to keep you, but because the other girl that's leaving is not left yet and everything, we got to cut some people, and unfortunately you're the first to go because you just
Oh man.
started. So I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. So luckily enough, for the last week or so, I have not been stuck in that situation where I've been face to face with people. But you know um, at the other place that I worked at, we saw hundreds of patients a day, and I mean, they were in my face all day long. So I feel for these people that are having to be, and I'm non-clinical, so I feel for these people that have to get into the clinical part of it. I would not want to knowingly go into a room with a patient that is showing signs. With the job I have, I can say no. These nurses and doctors and techs and stuff like that, they can't say no. They don't have choice. I've
Right.
got a lot of friends that are EMTs and volunteer fire. They can't say no. I mean, you can't do it. But yet, they're out there doing it, and they say the same thing. They wear a mask when they have to, but quite honestly, if they're at Walmart, they're not wearing a mask. You just, it is what it is. If you feel like you need to wear a mask, please wear a mask.
Yeah.
you know, if you feel sick, please wear a mask. But
Lee, I was telling James I went to your favorite Walmart.
which
Um,
one's that one? There's like, that
it's
we've got different names. The one on Warrington, that's ghetto
that.
number 2. Mobile
Hey, now.
Highway is ghetto 1.
Hey, oh. Woo.
Yeah,
Well, I went to the one on Navy, the one in Warrington.
I mean, that's not too terrible
So
bad.
for a minute.
Yeah, they kind of special there too.
Speaking of, yeah, no masks and everything, but um, totally not because of any reason, um, but I'm curious. Do you the travel agents keep track of
Bazinga!
like how many cruise ships are still stuck out in the water? Do you know? Is that something y'all keep track of?
Yes and no. I mean, thank God I did not have any clients that were dealing with any this cruise nightmare. Um, I don't think there are any that are stateside that have any people in it. I think the last one that was stateside was that one that landed in South Florida a few weeks ago. I
Right.
think that was the last one stateside that actually had people on it. Um, I don't know about anywhere else in any other countries, because cruises go out from all these other places. Carnival cruises out of, other countries, some of these other cruise lines from other countries. I don't know if they have, if those. I know, just before I left Australia, there was a cruise ship that came in the day we left. No, 2 days after we left, the cruise ship came in and they were not allowed to get off. 2 days later, we find out they quarantined the entire ship. I don't know if they're still in, Sydney Harbor. They may be still stuck in Sydney Harbor, all still stuck on the ship, because other governments do other things, regardless of if it's Americans or who on the ship. I just don't think any. I don't think any stateside have any more people on it. I think all the ships that you see, just kind of floating about. I think those are just the people that work on the boat. They're still on the boats.
Gotcha.
Matter of fact, there was some sort of um, together alone thing that I guess the night people, the what is those like Conan and whoever, all those people, they did some sort of special, and I know Disney Cruise Line posted a picture of their deck with their seats spread out, and their the cast members that are still on the boat, they watched it on that big screen. So I think the only ones that are still on the boats right now, stateside, are people that actually work on the boats. They can't go back to their own country because think about it, a lot of those people aren't from the U.S. A lot of them are from different countries. So
Lee, Pat wants to know, do you think that cruise lines and places like all-inclusive resorts are going to be permanently changed because of this? In other words, policies and procedures.
oh yes, they're already changing their policies and procedures daily. Um, they're some of the ones that are changing their policies and procedures, and they think they're doing it behind our backs. Um, I'm in a travel agent um, private page. It's travel agent ranting group where we go in and we rant. Yes, we have to rant somewhere, right? And so there is a daily rant about different places that they're changing their policies and procedures, and refund policies and booking policies, thinking we won't know. And, wait a minute, this reservation was booked prior to your change and that sort of thing. So, yes, there's going to be a lot of changes. And when I say daily, I'm not even kidding you. They're changing daily. Right now, so many people's, weddings have been postponed and canceled, and a lot of people aren't getting their money back. They're taking their sweet time, which, think about it. When you've got, everybody at your resort canceled at the same time, and you've only got 3 people that work in the, business, in the financial, those 2 or 3 people can't process, 500 claims quickly. So they're getting a lot of, rant back that, what's taken so long. And they're trying to tell us that they're no longer is it 7 to 10 business days. It's maybe 30, 60, 90 days at this point. So
That's what Carnival, because we just had our last week. Carnival canceled our cruise for next month, which was May 17th was our sailing date. And they canceled our cruise sometime last week, and they gave us the option. They're like, yeah, you can get a full refund, or you can book a later cruise and get $600 worth of onboard credit. I'm like, well, I'm not going to wait another year because it's going to be a long time before I'm ready to go on a cruise. So I'm like, just give me the refund. I still haven't gotten a confirmation email saying like, yeah, here we understand you want a refund.
yeah,
Because they told us before that even happened, it was 90 days for the refund get like
Oh yeah, there's Carnival's having to process hundreds of thousands of different because they, these cruise ships go out like weekly. Come out, go back out, come in, go back out. And they're having to process each claim differently because you didn't select, option A, you went with option B, so you got put in another category because now someone has to process your option because you went with option B. Then they got to turn around because quite honestly they're gonna deal with everybody that chose option one, which was the reschedule,
yeah,
because then that means, hey, that shows we've got some bookings, so they're gonna deal with all of those people first. And not to say you're on the back burner, but you're kind of on the back burner
oh
because
yeah, for sure.
you know you know they're also thinking maybe he'll change his mind.
That we've already had. They assigned us a special agent who has already emailed me 3 times, verifying that I want to cancel this. I'm like, she's like, well,
And
we
they're
got
gonna
this
probably
great
ask you,
idea. I'm like, yeah,
another 500 times before you cancel it or before they give you your money back, I should say,
yeah,
to see if, and they're going to try and sweeten the pot a little bit more. But you also, what you need to look at is if they offer all these special things, when do you have to use this by? Because they're putting a time limit on this stuff.
I think ours, as long as we had to book it by December of this year, but we can go out until 2022 for a sailing.
Yeah. And so that, that's kind of, a lot of people are not realizing, oh, wait, I got to make my decision now. Um, and they're gonna, I know some people have went with the same option that you went, and their ideas, they're just telling their person, oh yeah, yeah, we know it's coming, because they want to see if Carnival's gonna keep sweetening the deal. They're looking at getting, that the I don't know if you guys get the alcohol package that's on the cruise line. It's so
No,
expensive.
yeah,
It's very expensive, but if you plan on drinking, um, it's worth it because I've seen people at the customer service desk lose their mind when they've got $1,000, bill for alcohol that they didn't realize they had. When you could have just spent the $200-300 for the alcohol package and had it unlimited, and would not have been losing your mind the night before they let you off the ship. Um, you know, so they're looking at, you can use that onboard credit for booking excursions, which is where I would put it. I would be booking excursions left and right. Yeah, sure. Places I would never go. Yeah, let's book that. You want to go skydiving? Sure, let's go do that. Because you have all that. I mean, to me, the excursions, if I'm going to do it, the excursions, because I don't like being on the boat, I want to do the stuff off the boat. And if I'm going to be there, I'm going to do all the stuff. I'm the one that's going to be the crazy that's going to be swimming in some cave somewhere, or zip lining through some crazy jungle. And hey, if it's $150, it's on Carnival. you know, that's kind of how I look at it. But it's one of those things that they're going to change. Carnival, all these cruise lines are going to change the way they do things. This, if not anything, has woke the world, as far as policies, procedures. I mean, just simply going as a grocery store. I mean, I don't know if y'all got it, but we have lines that we have to go in.
oh yeah. You can
And
only
we've
go
got.
one way up an aisle, and
We don't have that yet, although we did see, at our Warrington Walmart tonight, we saw they have it, the little stickers on the ground. If it's green, you go that way. If it's red, that's the other. You can't go that way. But nobody was enforcing that. Quite
Well, hey,
honestly, you're not going to enforce me to do that. But
leave
everybody's
it.
going to change.
Real quick, I was going to tell you that when I went today, that was one of my issues where that's something they could be doing when the store is closed, but they were doing it right in front of everybody. So those stickers went down. Those stickers went down at about 10:30 today, or they started.
Oh yeah. So when I saw we got there, it was about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we just happened to look down. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going. You know, you got these people that just get in the aisle, and they get right smack in the middle of the aisle, and you're like, move.
Hmm.
If that's the only way you can go, it's gonna be like road rage in the middle of Walmart.
yeah,
Get out the
Kelly,
way.
they are actually. They started that before they canceled them. Like their new thing was they were scanning everybody, taking their temperature before they would even allow them
Yeah,
like
we
in
don't
the
have that yet.
pre-boarding.
We don't have that yet.
Oh no, Kelly was talking about for the cruises, like pre-boarding and stuff
Oh
is
yeah.
doing.
For the cruises,
Yeah.
that's probably going to be something that stays for now on. You know, they're no longer going to just go by.
Not rectally.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Listen,
hey.
I'm not going on that cruise. I'm sorry.
What the hell? What the hell just happened to this whole conversation?
That was a Gleason comment. What do you expect?
Of course,
Well,
it's the
God, it's not even Crueler 030 yet for the Gleasons.
Crueler
no,
030.
he said no drinking. He's got to work in the morning. He's got to work. Okay,
Don't
wait
you?
a minute. Hang on.
Yeah, but don't think he's skipping out on that blueberry cruller.
Oh,
Yeah, and tuna and milk and.
Okay, Danielle, if you're still on, yes, please message me. I will absolutely book your Halloween Horror Night room.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Definitely.
Let Lee do that for you. Everybody that's listening or will listen to this in the future. The reason why we have Lee on here is we all know her. She's fantastic at what she does. So, and the idea is to, like she said, she only gets money if people complete these things. So, use her because she's awesome. She goes way above and beyond. James can tell several people that know her have used her. So, definitely.
use and abuse me.
Oh yeah. Listen, I feel bad because the first year that I had her book, like we booked the whole thing. It was like a week at Hard Rock and everything, and that was the year we ended up moving up here. So we didn't even get to take that trip.
See, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, it doesn't take that long to book a Universal package. Okay, there's not a whole lot of thought into it, quite honestly. Universal is a whole nother, ballpark literally than Disney. Feel bad if it was Disney because I would have put a lot of work into it. Universal, not so much. Because Universal doesn't have, they have the dining plan. Yes, they do. But it's not like Disney where, oh my God, I got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning 180 days before I go to get all my reservations or my kids are going to be mad because we're not, seeing Goofy. It's not like that with Universal. Matter of fact, you can't even book a reservation with Universal at some places until 30 days in advance. Like some of those more popular restaurants, they don't even take a reservation. And then, you know, you try to call them and ask for a reservation. They're like, yeah, just come on in whenever. Yeah, sure. So it's not quite as bad. Especially if you've been before and I don't have to go through all my tips and secrets and things to do in Harry Potter world or whatever. Disney, yeah, there's a lot to do. I got to get your dining reservations done, then I got to get your fast passes done. Um, there's a lot to it, and then a lot of times with Disney, we'll book now, and Disney likes to throw out these special offers left and right. Universal doesn't quite do that as much. They might now, quite honestly, they might be hurting pretty bad. Um, but one of the things that I have to do is I have to monitor everybody that's booked with me, their reservations, to see, does their reservation qualify for this special offer? And if it does, I need to see if I can get that reservation special offer applied to my client, which is where the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hour waits come in. I have gotten on the phone in the morning, done all that I needed to do throughout the day. I've even taken a shower and still have not had the phone pick up. So don't feel quite as bad with the Universal with me. You can still feel bad, and I'm still gonna make you feel bad.
Well, it was only that one year. We've gone through on the rest of them.
Yeah, and then and like I said, for those that have gone and you already know what you want to do, you're not a newbie. You got this. I mean, you could tell me things because you guys have been going to Halloween Horror Nights well before I even knew it even existed. When I first found out it existed, I was like, wait, they have a horror something going on where? What? And I'm at this Mickey Halloween party with candy? No. Forget the candy. I want the horror. I want my kids terrified. Yes, I was the parent that would bring her 7-year-old kid. You remember I know some of you old timers remember Skull Kingdom in Orlando.
Oh yeah.
I brought our first year that we went. Um, we wanted to do all the things, so we did all the things on I-9 or I-4 and then International Drive. We did all this stuff. And we saw that place. I was like, what is that? Of course, we pulled in, saw what it was. My youngest son, who is 6'4" and 22 years old, he was 7 years old when we went. And that particular haunt was not like any haunt I have ever been in my life. They followed you. Like, this clown was following us, and like he would pop up here and then turn around and pop up there. And this poor boy, I I'm surprised he goes to anything Halloween. I'm surprised he slept with the lights off because, like I said, he was 7, but he was a big kid. He's always been a big kid. But that was our first experience with anything horror as a family. So some of the old timers who don't go to Halloween Horror Nights anymore because they're jaded now. Yes, I'm talking about you, Michael.
Oh,
We go because it's a family thing now. My son flew from Australia to go to the event with us. Um, so I'll go no matter what. I mean, it could be a crappy season. I'm still going to go.
I drove 16 hours and did 2 houses. So it was all I wanted to do, but
Which houses did you drive 16 hours to do?
Ghostbusters and Killer Clowns.
Oh, well, yeah. Ghostbusters was just a nostalgic, fun thing. Killer Clowns, same thing. At least it had a little bit of a horror fact to it because people are actually generally scared of clowns.
I actually got a jump scare in Ghostbusters though. The end of the house, there was a Slimer that popped out, and it was like, it got me. It was like, I think it was actually the only thing that got me that the entire that entire trip was that damn Slimer at the end of the house.
Well, they, the first year that I went, I wasn't, I mean, I was trying to expect the conga line. I wasn't really, quite honestly, I was shocked by how it really was. Like, wow, you guys just herding us all through. Well, after walking all day long, after a while, my knees were killing me. So I was kind of hobbling when we went through it the first time. So there was no conga line. There wasn't really hardly anyone in front because I couldn't keep up with the scaredy cats in front of us because they were literally running through. And I'm like, I can't keep up. So I'm just kind of going my own way. And this guy, I don't remember what house it was in, he jumped out at me from the left side of my face. And because of my martial arts training, my first reaction was I spun around and I did a palm heel, which is a flat hand to the face. Yeah, didn't mean it, but he was in my bubble and he startled me, and that was my reaction, was just boom. Oh my God, I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Of course, police officers were out there waiting for me. And I was like, I am so sorry. I had to explain to him about my training. He startled me. That was just a reaction. So for the duration, I had to walk through the houses literally holding both my hands like I was praying. So of course they thought I was scared now. So now they're all coming at me because I look like I'm terrified, which is kind of cool because now we get all the scares. But just simply because I'm trying not to punch anybody. So now it's kind of a joke for my kids. No, we put mama in front because she'll keep the conga line down, and they'll all come after us because they think she's scared. So when they do get me, I'm like, sweet, you guys did good. Y'all got me. One of the clowns in Killer Clowns, it was the room where all the clowns they were all in a room and they all looked the same.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they were they were fake, but there was one or two that were real. And I just kind of leaned in towards one, and he leaned in towards me and was like, boo. It's like, holy crap. Find out later that was one of my friends, that he was waiting for me. He knew I was there, and that I was going to be going through that house as many times as I possibly could. And so he was waiting. And that was the room that had the most light in it. So he was waiting and he got me. That was one of the few times that I was actually legit startled to the fact where I jumped backwards into my kids. But for the most part, I'm cruising through the houses, doing what you guys are doing, looking at all the stuff, thinking, man, this is cool. You know, wow, look at that stuff. It takes a lot to really scare me.
Yeah, me
Takes a
too.
lot to it takes a lot to even startle me, really. Because quite honestly, we do that all day long with each other at home. If we hear someone coming down the hall, we hide and wait. you know, I mean, doesn't everybody? Is that not normal for everybody?
Well, what
Um,
got me with that Slimer was the volume that they had his trigger at was so loud that like my brain couldn't like fully comprehend what was happening because it was just like this loud screech and it was in my face. I was like, "Whoa, all right, you got me there. That's good." Um,
yeah, I mean, the scare zones. They're kind of lackluster in these last couple of years.
they were really bad last year. Like it was cool to see that like the cyber like the video game 80s retro area. That was cool. Um
Uh, it
but
was it
it
was
was a
okay.
waste too
Yeah,
because
it really truly was. I mean, really there wasn't much that I had nice to say about the scare zones.
the Viking area was all right. I was okay with the
Um,
Viking because they had like the sacrifice that
well,
would randomly take place.
yeah, well, 'cause that's that area because of where it's at.
But yeah, Central Park area is always good.
It's dark. It has a tendency to just because of the fact that it is so dark, the mood lighting with the pumpkins and stuff, um, or whatever they've got going on. Generally, that area, regardless of what's in that area, seems to just be good just because of the fact that it's got a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
If the Viking area was in any other area, would I've liked it? Probably not.
That
The year that they had the killer clowns as a scare zone, that was really good. Um,
was 2 years ago.
yeah, that was probably my favorite scare zone year, quite honestly. Um, I'm glad we have kind of gotten away from zombies.
Shh. Don't
I,
bring them back.
as much as I love, I'm still one of the ones that still watches the show. Um, I just don't want to see another house or a scare zone
No.
with zombies. Like we've been there, we've done it. You know, even though the guy in the wheelchair, he was a great zombie, I really don't want to see any more zombies.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know what I'd like this year, since I think it's going to be such an issue, if if in fact they do, if they're capable of doing the event, I think they're going to have to do some kind of a virtual line like they did for what you call it, like they do for Jimmy Fallon or whatever. So you
oh,
just
can you imagine the wait times though for that? I
oh
mean, it
god,
would
yeah,
just
you're not going to be able to do everything. There's no way, but
yeah.
you're just going to have to pick the things you really want to do and try to get. It's going to be like getting a fast pass at Disney, really.
Yeah, multiple nights is going to be the key. Express pass, which I really don't want to see that line grow any further than it is because that's my go-to. I will not ever go again without it. Um, or just splurge and just if you can only go one night, do the RIP. I
Yeah.
mean, they feed you, they bring you to the potty, and if it rains like it did the night we went, oh dear God, it was a downfall rain. I mean, it was flooding. Um, they provided us with, free rain gear. Um, yeah, it was a bit much, but when we think back to all that we got for it, we didn't have to wait in line. Like literally, we got to the line, they stopped the line, you go in, and you're not. In some cases, you're not completely conga lined with everybody else. Sometimes they hold the line until you get through one or two of the areas, and then they let the rest of the line start coming in.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Would I do it again? Yeah, I might even have to do it this year. I don't know yet.
Yeah, the
And
Tappa
then,
Tappa thing at Volcano Bay. Same. That's the
yeah,
only way I think that's gonna work this year. Is they're not gonna be able to have those lines. Like I mean, maybe by October they can, but I wouldn't feel cool with hanging out in one of those lines with all those people.
yeah, I've sat there and I thought about that, because what do you have at these events? You have lots of alcohol because it's an adult event. I'm sick of children being there. Yes, I'm going to be one of those that says, I don't want your kids there because no, I don't want your kids. However, it depends on their age. I mean, if they're just terrified, why are you bringing your 5-year-old? Um, I mean, yeah, I brought my 7-year-old into Skull Kingdom. I really didn't know what that was. I mean, had I known, I probably would not have brought him in there. But you have these kids that are in strollers and stuff. I mean, what are you doing? These kids are terrified.
Yeah,
Um,
I should not see a
and
stroller at Halloween Horror Nights.
no, I mean, and yes, I am a proponent of an age limit. Yes, they have to be a certain age type thing, because quite honestly, there's a lot of alcohol that's being sold there. And, quite honestly, these adults they can't act like an adult when they're drinking. Um,
Yeah, that's right.
these,
Pat was
yeah,
saying Mark said there was a rumor about it being a dry event this year.
that rumor has been going on for like the last 4 years, though. Um, they did take away the Jello shot girls
Yeah, that's true.
that were in the lines and stuff.
I miss them.
That was my first experience with a Jello bag, which was really difficult. Um, but I thought about that. If they open it back up, I always go the first or second weekend of the event, just simply because it's around my birthday, and that's kind of like, hey, happy birthday to me. Um,
Well, they're getting earlier every year, so.
yeah, well, Disney starts their Halloween party in August, which I don't know if they'd be able to do that this year. Um, Although tickets have already been sold, so I don't know how that's going to work. Universal, I think, is still trying to keep it at least in September. I mean, we're pushing it by having it in September. But you've got to have some time. People travel wise. My first thought was, would I go to Halloween Horror Nights on a Friday or Saturday night, knowing that these lines, even the express line gets busy with the amount of people that are in lines. People, I don't know what it is about people that like to get right up on you. We don't need to have everybody on top of each other in line. Spread it out a little bit. And so I thought, would I want to be in a line with all of that going on, and would I wear a mask in that case? That was kind of a thought. My first response was absolutely, I'm going. But then I started thinking, well, there's a lot of drunks, and I don't know about you, but I've seen some people, bend over the line and, get sick.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I don't know. It might change my mind about, the amount of hand sanitizer I bring. And the amount of times I'm like stopping to the bathroom and let's go, wash up. But I would still go for sure. But I'm actually looking more towards doing the RIP, just for the fact that you don't wait in line. Um, I see that might be a very large option for a lot of people who haven't thought about it before. But like me, I'm going to the event one way or another. Might decide to plunk down that extra just so they don't have to be in line with hundreds of other people that may or may not be sick. Um, it's kind of one of those. Will I do it this year? If I did, we were only going to go one night because that's all I can afford. When there's 4 or 5 of us going, that's not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I just got back from Australia. Mama broke. Yeah, my son, when he was in Australia, he went to, there's a theme park in Australia. I forget what it's called. Movie World, I think it was called. And it was kind of like DC comic type thing. There was like Batman and the Asylum and stuff. They have a Halloween event, apparently. And he was supposed to have gone to that while he was there, and they didn't because he actually, where he lived in Sydney, he actually had to get on a plane and fly to wherever this place was. Instead, he decided to come home with Mama and go to Halloween Horror Nights, um, which I'm glad he did.
Oh yeah, interesting enough. You know what that event is called?
Yeah, what's it called?
Fright Nights
Yeah, cool.
at Movie World.
Yeah, he enjoyed. That was one of the things they went to. They went to the Sea World that was over there, and they went to the Movie World. And he went and swam the Great Barrier Reef without me. Rat. Okay, why is Kelly telling me to hush my mouth? What?
Because you said
Oh my.
old timers.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
You.
yeah.
You. You've actually missed so much that they've actually been typing. I can't
I
even keep
know
up.
my computer screen keeps freezing when I try to scroll down. So if y'all see some comments that we need to, you know, okay.
So I put the
The
I put the chat up right on the screen for a few minutes to see how it would work with everybody commenting. Took it down about after 30 seconds or so. Got jumped by the Gleasons because you know they got to cast their freaking video to their TV. So now they can see the comments on their TV.
I'm sure he's waving his crullers at the TV. But the two things I did see, Pat, and this this was a while ago. Pat did ask about how hard is it to book anything overseas right now, not necessarily Universal Disney related. And-
Anything nearly impossible.
okay, that's what I figured.
Because they've shut down travel, and they said 30 days, but different governments are different now. They said, I mean, I was actually I was terrified I wasn't going to get out of Australia when I did, because I was in Australia when the pandemic hit in China. So I was there for a whole nother week after it really started hitting hard in China, and I was really contemplating, okay, do I need to get to the airport and try to get a flight home, because I was worried that, are they going to let me go home? Are they going to quarantine my butt? What's going on? Because they were talking about closing off travel, because Australia closed travel. You could not fly from Australia to China. They closed that down. I'm thinking, oh God, are they going to close it going the other way? Am I going to be able to get out? Well, what we have found out now is we can't even book anything. Future travel right now, it shows up. You can try and book, say, a flight for January, for June, July, August, but it will forever stay in the cart. It will never let us process it, because they've kind of got a lock on things. And quite honestly, I would not try even remotely to book anything international right now, because we don't know what's going on. The other countries, they have their own rules of what they're going to do. They may not let us. Australia's got their rules, China's got their rules, all these other Mexico, all these other countries are saying, no, y'all can't come here. I mean, even Florida, there was talks that they were going to close the border down for people that came from Louisiana, which they kind of sort of did in a way.
Yeah.
They're stopping everybody that's going through and asking you where you've been, but they're not telling you can't come in. But if you listen to the news media, Florida was telling everybody you can't come, which we kind of were like, seriously, stay home, please. But if that's happening in the U.S., can you imagine what other countries? I mean, there's some countries that have a shoot to kill order if you are out of your house. There's some countries that have, if the police see you on the street and you're not within a certain time frame, they can beat you if they want. And so it's kind of, I would not send anyone to any other country right now.
What ain't no country I ever heard of?
I love you.
They
I
speak
would love
English
to
and
book
what?
it, but it ain't gonna happen with me, because I don't want to be the one on the other end having to try and cancel all this in a few weeks, because that's probably what's gonna happen
So
if you can even book it.
So on that note, so Lee, do you think that is it turned off the other way too? Like say people
Yeah,
are,
they can't come here. No.
and they can't pre-book, like people that would come here for Halloween Horror Nights, they can't.
That's the thing. I know some places they're able to kind of do that, because I do know someone who's coming, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Orlando Informer.
Yes.
He's got that thing that he was supposed to have in May, that
What the fuck's that
event
got to do
that
with
he
anything?
holds in the park, closes the park down. Well, he rescheduled it for December now, and there's some people that live in, I believe it's London. Somehow or another, they were able to book, but that's for December. So I don't know how far it is and which way. I just know, if you try, it may go through, it may not. They were able to get their flights or what have you changed from May to December, but I don't know if that's because they already had flights booked and their stuff got canceled and now they're just rescheduling it for December, or how they did that. So I don't know. I guess it would just all depends on what country. When Disney closed down their cultural program, they had to help all these people that are from all these different countries. They had to help them get home because some of these countries had already closed down and said no more travel.
Wow.
So they had to, let them know, yeah, we're kicking them out. They're no longer employed with us, which that their visa is no longer valid if they're not employed, and they were let go. They're going to come back. They've got an open ended to come back, but they're kind of like the college program. It's not a guaranteed job. They're contracted. They got rid of all of the people in Epcot that the performers and stuff. Same thing. They were all contracted. They ended their contract, so there goes their visa. They're no longer valid. So they had to help them get back to their other countries because some of these countries had already closed off travel. They're like, nope, can't come back. And I don't know how they did it or what they did, but they got them home, or as close to possible. I don't know how, if
They just got
anybody's
him out of
from
the
China.
country, and they're like, "You
Yeah,
figure it out."
yeah. I
Well,
mean, I don't.
the mouse is all powerful. The mouse can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, hey, if the mouse spoke, I think that's why I go back to saying that really the travel industry is watching what the mouse is doing, you know. And Disney has not come out and said we're not opening up. But if you try to book anything for the month of May, you can't do it. There's nothing you can book for May. And even if you try in June, it's very limited if you can even get anything in June. And I'm talking about hotels, dining, whatever, because they're gradually going in and canceling people's reservations because they know it's coming. They I had a lady call me up and she said, "Do you know if they're canceling stuff for June?" I'm like, I haven't heard anything. Why? She said, "Because my reservation just got canceled." I was like, wait, your hotel reservation? Like, no, my dining reservations. I'm like, well, read the writing on the wall. Disney, unfortunately, it seems like they're going to wait to the last minute before they announce anything because they don't want to cause a mass panic of people. And one thing that they did, and I don't know if they're going to do it for the rest of these months, but if we had a client that was booked for Disney of any kind, any Disney reservation, cruise line, whatever, as well as Universal, they did the same thing. If they closed and they're the reason that our clients can't travel, they're canceling it, they protected our commission. So, and even if the client didn't rebook, they just said, no, just give me my refund, I don't know when I'm going back, I would still get my commission off that trip.
That's cool.
They were protecting our commission. That's why, like, I have a client there. It's for July, and I have a feeling it's going to be canceled. It's a $14,000 trip for Disney.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's an anniversary trip. They're staying at
What is it?
the
3 days?
They're staying at the Treehouse Villa. Like their whole family. There's like 8 of them or something, and it's a little over $14,000. Commission on that's really nice. And quite honestly, I haven't had to do a whole lot with this one because one, they're previous clients, so I kind of know their likes and dislikes. And even though I'm your travel agent and I will book your dining reservations if you want, we still have some of those that like control, and I'm talking to Kelly. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Kelly. I know how you like control of your vacation. Even if you book it with me, you can still do all that stuff. If you want to book your own stuff, go for it. But give me the booking because then that means I still get to commission off the same thing you would have just given Disney.
Yeah,
Um,
Kelly. God,
yeah,
Kelly.
Kelly.
God.
Bazinga!
You know, and people think that just because they're booking it with me that I've got to do everything. The only thing you cannot do, you cannot cancel your reservation. I have to do it for you. And you cannot make payments towards it. I have to do it for you. That's it. You can do everything else. You want to, well, you can't make changes to the reservation. Also, anything to do with like that sort of thing, I have to do. But your fast passes, you can do it yourself. Your dining reservations, you can do it yourself. You can still have that control over your trip. Um, and so for this client, I really, you know, she was online at the same time I was online. We were both trying to get, you know, dining reservations because there was 8 people and try to get a dining reservation for 8 people at the Be Our Guest restaurant. Whew. We were both online at the same time and it was like, okay, let's see who got it. You know, she, you know, went in and got some bookings. I got some bookings, you know, so there wasn't a whole lot I really had to do with that one. I did have to make a few changes here and there, but again, it was like a 5-minute text message. I jumped on the phone. Less than an hour later, everything's done. All right, good. When that one cancels, it's gonna hurt. I'm hoping Disney uh, protects the commission, but I don't know. And we're not canceling anyone's vacations right now. Where most travel agents are trying not to cancel anybody's reservations that's booked for June, July, August, because we're waiting for Disney to say we're closed. Because if they say they're closed, one, I can probably get a full refund for you, including your non-refundable stuff. And two, I might still be able to save my commission, you know. So we're kind of holding out on that one. And what's Pat saying?
He Pat said that Kelly didn't
Oh,
know
hush.
what you just said.
What?
She didn't know the things you just said. So I think you'll be booking
What?
Kelly and Pat's next vacation.
She don't
And then,
remember.
but check it out. Because what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get Kelly and Pat to use you to book all this stuff, and then I'm gonna pay you, Lee, extra money to actually get them a motel in Kissimmee, just for the fun of it.
What, that one that had the bed bugs?
Yeah, just so we'll screw with the Gleasons and we'll get them a motel in Kissimmee next
Yeah,
to
for the wrong night, right?
for the wrong night next to
For the
I don't know a 24-hour no name restaurant. I don't know that with meth addicts in front of it.
So like anything on Orange Blossom Trail.
I'm sitting there thinking, that sounds like a lot of the hotels, you know, because whenever we go as a family, we don't stay in Disney the first night because we drive down there. You know, it's a 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive, depending on how fast I'm driving that day. So we don't want to waste a day at a Disney hotel because that's a lot of money. A lot of times we would stay in one of the hotels that I would probably never, ever, 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 ever book a client in. But yes, I will stay there because I grew up in New Orleans, and let's just say I've seen worse.
Really selling New
So,
Orleans
you
to
know,
people right now.
Look, if you have not been, you have got to go. And I mean, straight in the middle of Mardi Gras, you got to experience.
Well,
but,
don't
you
go
know,
don't go to Mardi Gras right before a pandemic because that
you
apparently
know,
was not good.
you know what was bad is we went the weekend after Mardi Gras. So one,
My
I
God.
just traveled internationally. Okay, so then I have that on my, and then two, I just came back from New Orleans, and three, I worked at a doctor's office, which Lord knows how many sick people I saw. So people need to stay away from me. I'm just saying.
I was
I
getting ready
swear.
to say.
It sounds like a good time, Pat.
You're like,
Jeez.
I'm coming to your house, Mike. What are we gonna have for dinner? You're gonna cook, right?
Well, I tell you what, you're gonna be met with one full can of Lysol.
my mom, when I go over to her house to bring stuff to her, I can't even walk in the door. I got to take my shoes off. I'm surprised she lets me stay in my own dang clothes and not making me change. I gotta wash my hands. Like, she puts her mask on, she sprays Lysol, and I'm just like, I feel like I need to be in a bubble. But I get it. She's of that age where she's in the area of
Pat,
age of
you see what Pat said?
scariness.
Do
Let's
do you take your mask off for beads during a pandemic? Show us your
actually funny.
face.
No,
That's actually
Pat. What
funny.
you do is, okay, Danielle. I don't mean to give you anxiety, but hey, if anything, I speak the truth, but I'll be right there with you. But Pat, what you do is you leave your mask on during Mardi Gras, but you take your shirt off, and
Huh.
I mean for girls and boys.
Oh, hey there, Kevin. How's it going, man?
You got other people joining.
We do.
This thing keeps freezing up on me.
Stop breaking things.
I think it's Pat's fault.
He's casting it to his damn television.
That's what it is. Probably the old lady that's living in there. Pat's probably gonna be like, "Oh my God, why do I say that? You're never gonna live it down now. Never gonna live it down." But I mean, what haunts are you guys planning on going to? I mean, are y'all even thinking about traversing to any? And I don't mean just Halloween Horror Night. I mean, I know Mike. I know you go to some of the ones in New Orleans. Have you heard anything about whether they're planning on trying to do anything? You know,
None for me
maybe
this year.
why not?
Well, because I've got really bad asthma, and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks
so-
when I was
So
16
you
with
fit that
pneumonia.
category of
Yeah, so I'm super
Ooh.
like, if I get it, I'm like, oh, okay. It's kind of an issue. So I'm being a little more cautious, but I don't know. I think so. We were talking to 13 Skeletons a couple live chats ago.
And where's that at? What's 13?
He is in New Jersey, which isn't far from us, obviously, but he does like a drive-by thing, so I think we're gonna take a trip and check his stuff out.
Oh, just drive by.
Just drive by, just
Everybody's
cruise through.
Windows
But
rolled up.
yeah, I think as far as that goes, we're gonna focus, like Michael said, he's focusing on his stuff this year, so I think we're gonna focus on our house, get it really nice, and
Yeah, and that's the thing, if anything, I don't know about you guys, but when I am out and about, we went to Walmart and all the bikes are gone. The bikes are gone. Like, they're sold out of bikes, and you see more people out there walking and stuff. Hopefully, this shows people you can still do things as a family. You don't have to, go out there and do other things. And maybe this year we might see a little bit more decorations, because it seems like when I was growing up, it's like every other house had something going on. You didn't just go knock on the door and trick or treat. You had to go through their backyard maze of some sort, to get your tiny little piece of, junk candy, your
yeah.
candy corn that makes you want to barf. But now, not so much. I mean, I've seen more kids outside playing than I normally have, which to me is sad because, I grew up in a stage where you were out in the morning, Saturday morning cartoons, as soon as they went off, you were out the door and you didn't come back to that street light buzzed on. And then you've got less than 2 minutes to get your butt back home before that street light's completely on.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids aren't living in an age of that where every other house is decorated of some sort. I did see, like, this year, we did see a lot more Christmas decorations, people that don't normally do it. So I'm hoping that kind of carries on into, some Halloween stuff, some more, at home stuff, whether it be at home haunts where, you go through the backyard or whatever, or like Mike's trying to do some sort of, crazy, drive-by thing.
I'll let him weigh in on that because he's on the same page as me. So
I actually have been out for about 4 minutes Something
Yeah, no, I
happened
saw
to my
you.
stream.
Yeah, I saw
So
that. Well, we
what?
do have bad weather coming through. So
I
I
don't.
was asking, were you guys planning on going into any haunts other than like say Halloween Horror Nights? Have you heard like anything from like the New Orleans people? You know, you guys go to, you know, yes, I know y'all tell me all the time I need to branch out and go to their haunts. But like I said, it's cheaper for me to just go to one haunt and we do it for the week and we're good than to travel, you know, to this haunt, to that haunt, to this haunt, to that haunt. You know, I've got kids. I'm not single. Mike's single, you don't have kids, you can do all these running around, and same with Ronnie and them. You know, they can bounce around the other haunts. Have you heard anything from any of those guys where they're planning on doing something
Well,
this
do
year?
do you mean do you mean Ronnie and Jim, or the haunts themselves?
No, like Ronnie and Jay. Have you heard anything? You know,
N-
from any of those guys? Were they from any of their
No,
people?
no. James and I were talking about that. We'd like to get Ronnie and Jim to get their take on it. I'm almost positive I know what Ronnie's going to say, and I'm almost positive I know what Jim's going to say. But we want to get them on, like we got you on, to talk about what they were thinking about doing. As far as haunts go, I've what I've been hearing from a lot of them is that it's up in the air. They don't want to make any commitments one way or another. Matter of fact, speaking of all that, the person hopefully we get on Wednesday is Kevin. He's in chat right now. Um, Kevin Motorola. Um, uh,
He's good for Wednesday,
he,
by the way. I just spoke to him.
okay. So we're curious as to what he's going to do, and I'll let him explain Wednesday who he is and all that kind of stuff. But to
So
answer
that
your
means I
question,
got to come back Wednesday, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh
well, no,
man.
I can give you I can give you this, I can give you a synopsis of it, but um, I haven't. There are no haunts that I know of who've made any definitive um, decision. There's some haunts that have said we're going to go ahead and keep building, but what's interesting is the only ones that I know of that really are not changing what they're doing are like the home haunts, or what I consider to be the amateur haunts, the ones that it's
Right.
kind of easy to, they can take stuff from last year. They're not spending a bunch of money. Um,
Right.
but not, I haven't, normally by this time you'd start hearing like from Ronnie and Jim. They're like, oh yeah, up, but they
Right. Yeah.
haven't. So uh,
And that's the only reason why I'm so nervous about, you know, Halloween Horror Nights. I know, you know, the construction at Disney completely stopped. That was on Disney. That was their construction team, whatever. But Universal's construction is continuing. They're, you know, whether they're building any houses or anything, you know, in their tents, I don't know. I'm normally at this time have seen people posting, you know, blueprints, you know, hey, or not blueprints, what do you call it when they go get the license or whatever? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. The permits for
Yeah,
the
the
building
permits.
permit.
permits.
Normally you're seeing the permit posted with the possible hint of what is said house might be, and none of that is happening right now. So I'm like, okay. Normally they've posted, you know, a hint of something, and with this being the 30th, you know, anniversary, um, and I understand why they're kind of not, because they don't, you know, they don't know what's going to happen. But I also haven't seen anybody else posting anything, and I'm like, oh great, okay. But you know, I'm still on the boat. I'm going if they open, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, is it really going to be anything different this year because of the fact that, you know, are they going to have time to do anything? You know, local haunts and stuff like that, you know, like the one down the road, you know, is a permanent location.
Oh,
And
wait a
I'm
minute.
just,
Uh, sorry. Hey Alfie, how are you doing? Uh, um, Pat, the deal with the election year is on election years, at least because haunts it's in the same period. It's the uncertainty of the economy, and that's with any election, any
mm,
president. It's not this particular year. It's they
just in
have
general.
just in general, election years for haunts are iffy just because of the economy. and how it fluctuates. I have a uh, wait a minute. Did I say your name wrong? Did I say Alfie and not well, who the hell did I just? I don't even know what the hell I just said. But um, Kevin said names off the top of my head escape me. Um, what? Hey, what local haunt are you talking about?
Who, me?
No. I'm
Oh,
asking.
him? Oh,
No,
okay.
yeah, because now I'm
Oh,
just kind
his
of
local
curious.
haunt.
Well, no, Kevin's here. Lee, you don't. Oh, Lee, Kevin lives here in Pensacola.
Oh, he does. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Have we met? Do I know him?
you don't because you don't go to the frickin' local haunts here. So,
I have gone to the ones
Oh,
well,
you've been around,
I know.
and I
I'm
have
kidding.
gone to the one you mentioned the other night that kind of screwed it for everybody else around here.
Ugh, yeah.
But, yeah,
Wait a
what
minute.
local haunt?
Well, that's what I was wondering. That's why I was asking Kevin because he said that the only one I can think of would be around here would be Haji.
They're just so expensive, man.
Yeah, but they are. But
Broom Doom. Something like that, he says.
I why the hell can't I scroll? It won't. I hate. You know what? I hate Facebook Live. I can't. It's not letting me scroll through the damn chat.
Well, can you see the chat on the
No,
screen?
no, I'm seeing it right now. The one who screwed everyone else. Nope.
He knows
Well,
what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, well, I know who you talk. Okay, they've been gone for a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. And they tried to do that crap in the
no, I'll
old
say it.
paper place.
Well, no, I'll say it right now. It was Fear City Nights.
You know,
If they were listening right now, and I'm not going to mention the guy's name. I'll say it right. Get better, Mike. What?
you're breaking in and out. We got really bad weather coming this way, so that could be
No, I
why
think he's
it's
No, no.
talking about
sunny.
just his overall, like, him struggling with the chat and everything right now.
Well, he
Ew.
is old, so.
Well, yeah, but it looks like it just dumped and reset. Wait, are we having technical difficulties? Is that what y'all are saying?
I
No,
think
you
you and
are.
I might be because of the weather that's in the area. Do you have Cox Cable or do you have someone else?
You know what, Lee? Fuck Cox Cable.
No, I would like to not to do that.
It's in the
Well, y'all were
name.
talking about rectal. No, just let me check I'm fine. Everything on my end is fine. I can hear y'all
No,
perfectly.
yeah, it's just
Let
every
me
now
check.
and then you sound a little like you're going in and out,
Old?
but that's
Old?
well
Go ahead and
that
say it,
too.
Lee. Go ahead and say it, Lee.
I've
Old.
already said you were old.
Yep, here goes. This is our first major diversion here this evening, so we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Look, I tried to keep y'all
No,
on track.
my internet's flying. So it's I don't know.
All right, so
Oh,
Kevin,
I don't know what this.
Kevin, this is to you. What local haunts other than the Raja Temple? What local haunts are you talking about? And I'm not talking about
He's
Jackson
t-
Street either.
no. The one that Kevin's talking about that they just which hey, that's awesome. I know it is. He's talking about Fear City Nights.
Yeah.
Um,
We
we've
went
already
to
talked
them.
about Fear City Nights.
The first time we went to them, they were out at the bayou over here. Oh God, I can't even think. Like I ain't even drinking and I can't freaking think. Mike's
You know
oldness
that
is rubbing off.
um
You know, to
you're
the Gulf State Park over here.
yeah, no, they were at
Blue Lagoon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Blue
first year
Lagoon.
we went, they were at Blue Lagoon. And I don't remember what year it was, but they were actually freaking awesome there. We went to their twice there. And then I think it was probably their last 2 years at Blue Lagoon.
Oh, wait a minute. You
And
are okay, so he is talking about Vroom Doom. I don't even know who Vroom Doom is. Sorry, go ahead,
I
Lee.
don't know that's in it. But they were actually not too bad. I mean, we actually had some moments. It was like, whoa, this is actually not too good, too bad. And then they disappeared. And then that's when we discovered that, they are no longer doing it there and they tried their own thing. We went to them when they were by Seville. And I came out and I just looked at the guy and he said, "Well, how was it?" I said, "Can I have a refund? Because that was shit."
No,
Um,
I remember that. Actually, I
and
remember we talking about that.
and he was like, "Well, what did you like about it?" I'm like, "I didn't like anything about it, and you spent way too much on that stupid spinning thing that was like literally that was the entire haunt was this stupid spinning thing, which I can't stand. I get real bad vertigo, so those things don't do much for me other than make me want to vomit.
The technical term is
I
the stupid spinny thing.
Yeah, it's the stupid spinny thing. If you don't know what the stupid spinny thing is, you have not been to a haunt ever. Everybody knows what that is. Generally, I just close my eyes, grab the rails, and just walk through it. But I told the guys like it was crap, and so and he, you know, my guy is kind of known around here sometimes, so they talked, and so he sent us back through it again, and he tried to do the thing, like James was talking about his local person, or no, not Pat talked about his local haunt there. He said, yeah, it was all right, and then they sent him back through it again, and really got him. They tried that, and it was like it wasn't any better. For what we paid, and we were done and like blinked my eye and we were out, and it was like
Well,
wow.
that since we're on the subject, there's going to be people like, what the hell are you talking about? One, I just sent a message to Kevin. I do remember Vroom Doom. That was not a pro haunt. That was like a home haunt. So I
I
don't
don't
know.
even know where that was at. Where
I
was
don't
that at?
I don't know. It was, but for one, that was, dude. What'd y'all spend like $20 on the shit they had? Come on, man.
Yes,
Oh, you know
it
what?
was like 20.
Well, 20. No. Well, not Haji.
Oh,
Um,
no. The other one, the one I'm
yeah.
talking about that was crap. It was
Well,
oh,
yeah,
not
but you're
Vroom Doom.
talking the one you're talking about, Lee, that was on across from Seville was Fear City Nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was
Well,
the last time
Fear.
I was ever going to spend $20 on a haunt.
Well,
That's
Fear.
why I haven't
Fear.
been to the temple yet, because their
Well,
price tag is right up there with it. And I've
well,
been
but
in that temple, and that temple's not that
no,
big.
no. Hold on. Now, you know what? It's past nine
Sell
o'clock,
it
so
to me.
fucking hold
Come
on.
on. Sell it
Um,
to me. Sell it to me.
you know,
Sell it to me. You tell me, because this year, if I have learned anything from this damn
um,
pandemic, has been more people need to go local. We need to support our local
well,
everything,
yeah, but
everything.
but
So you
now
sell
that
it to me.
I don't
Tell
know
me where I need to
why
go.
y'all keep. I want to clarify though. Haji and Fear City Nights.
Are not
I
the
mean,
same.
I
Yeah, I
can't.
know.
Well, the deal with Fierce Unites is that guy's a shyster. He's a
Oh,
shyster.
yeah.
I hope
Shyster.
he
Yeah.
listens to this. He's a shyster. He got
And
to
that's
use
saying it nicely.
he got to use the Pensacola News Journal building for free, and that was a joke. He told everybody that Seville was letting him use that building across the street for free, and I'm not going to say how much he was paying, but I know how much he was
No.
paying. He got
Yeah.
in trouble. He got in trouble with the fire marshal there. He got in trouble with the fire marshal at Sam's Fun City. He got in trouble with the fire marshal at Hallmark School, and then he went to the Pensacola News Journal and totally the story he was giving was completely false, and people were bitching about the fire marshal, bitching about this. So the guy does not deserve to own a haunt. He doesn't deserve to have one. I'm sorry, I'm kind of pissed off about it because he really caused a lot of issues with the
Oh,
few
yeah.
haunts that were here. Um,
Oh, yeah.
he
Absolutely.
I gotta wait.
I mean, we, the house
No
that we
freaking
have,
sense.
the
I
house
don't.
that the house that we have over in Navy Point, it's a completely gutted out house. And for the longest time, Joseph has thought about doing his own type of haunt. And prior to this, he's contacted people and they're like, okay, this is what you need to do. And because we still have insurance on the house, so that was not going to be an issue. And even at the time, the fire marshal was like, okay, this is what you need to do. Let me know, da da da. Now, forget it. No, not even remotely. Not.
Well,
Well, we can at
Like
least say
I
that.
don't even know how the guys on Jackson Street get away with what they get away with, but because theirs is in a backyard and not actually in a dwelling, that's the only thing.
well, you know what? Since I'm already calling people out, it's because they're kiss asses to some of our county commissioners.
Oh well, I mean, duh.
Uh, that's one of the reasons why I left. But let me go back real quick. I'll get off Fierce Nights because no one knows who they are because they're gone pretty much. Haji Shrine, Lee, it's not what you think. It's $20. It is a bit higher than it should be. 100% of the proceeds do go to either, the Children's Hospital or Cancer Institute. But believe it or not, I didn't go last year, but the year before that, I was skeptical. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go, and because I wasn't working the other haunt.
Right.
Lee, it was 17 minutes long, and it
Wow.
was well done. I was like,
17 minutes.
yeah, I'm telling you, because I timed it. I went to the it was 16 or 17 minutes because I had my phone ready in my hand, and when we went, and they did a really good job. They did a really good job with their line control, and I clicked it, and I just put it back in my pocket. And when I came out, I pulled my phone out and clicked it. I'm like, holy shit! And they actually did a really good job. They did a really good job. So it is a bit expensive for here in Pensacola, Lee, but
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, I mean, because I can expect that in like New Orleans, but
well, sure.
also,
But
you know,
they jacked their price up like too much too quickly. But for the money going where they did, where it does, and it's confirmed, I was willing to pay it. But it is actually not bad. So
I might have to try it this year because like all my kids, like I said, I've got all grown adult children. The youngest his birthday's Halloween, so last year there was no local haunts we were interested in going to. We were not going to go to Jackson Street because number one, you're not there. There's no reason for us to go.
right.
Plus, for what it is, their prices are stupid. It's so we decided, what the hell, up for his birthday. But last year was his 21st birthday, so we took him to New Orleans for the night. We did 2 nights. Actually, the 21st birthday we went and we stayed, and we did the haunt that's over there that's in the city park, where they have like different little haunts, but it's all in city park. I forget what that's called. That was actually fun, but God, that was expensive. If you're not doing any of the rides, which we didn't because they were all kind of kiddie rides, not something, they were like less than a fair ride, and I'm not getting on a fair ride. But for what the haunts were, they were fun. The night we went, Halloween night, and the lines were not even long. I mean, there might have been like 10 people deep in each line here and there, and it wasn't that bad. So we decided, the following year we went, and this time we just kind of did some drive-by stuff. We went to see Ghost Manor and some other stuff. But this year it's kind of like we don't know what we're going to be doing. Because we always do something different on Halloween because that is his birthday. And he's getting older. He'll be 23 years old. And yes, he still hangs out with his parents because, we're badass. Yes, I will say that. And so just trying to like put things together, what can be done locally. And our first thought was, we've never done the haunts in New Orleans. I thought, hey, let's go to Baton Rouge this year. Let's take a day trip, do that. Then I started thinking, well, there might not be one. There might not be, any haunts within our driving distance other than, what we have here locally. So kind of like, okay, go to the temple. Might have to check that out. Depending on.
Well, and just Creepy Hollow. I'm gonna go ahead and name them since we're talking about local haunts. They're totally.
Where's Creepy Hollow?
Creepy Hollow is way the hell out in Jay.
Oh, I think we might have gone to them one year, and do they do a haunted hayride thing?
No.
Okay, then
I know who you're talking about. Creepy Hollow, which is the manager is here with us tonight. Very nice fella. No, it's pretty cool. It's actually on a private piece of property, way the hell out in Jay.
And that's probably why we haven't been. I've seen, and I'm sure I've seen, advertisement for it, and I'm sure you've told me about it. But because it's way the hell out in Jay, and I don't even know where the hell that is.
I love the distance. It's a measurement of distance. Way the hell out there.
It is a distance.
Well,
I mean, there's nothing from here to there. Okay, there's nothing.
Well, and the funny thing, one of the cool things about Creepy Hollow is the road that you have to get on to go there. Um, uh,
Would that
Kevin's
be
getting on
his
me.
haunt? Would that be his haunt?
Well, that he is he's manager.
Mm.
I don't even know what the hell did I say nice? Um,
It's nice.
but it's nice. It's quaint. No, I'm kidding. It's on a huge piece of property, and it's a private piece of property. But the road to get to it is already. You're like, Jesus. There's no street lights. You wonder if
Oh,
there's any
great.
power.
Am I
It's
gonna hear
actually
banjos and shit? I mean,
well, if you do, it'd be Kevin playing them. No, it's definitely where there's stuff like trees and fields and one tom thumb, and that is actually true. If you have to pee or get something to eat, you better get it at the tom thumb before you go. But it's very cool. It's way out in J. I made adds to the ambiance. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. I want nothing in my,
but
I want nothing in my haunt region. I want to be in the middle of nowhere.
they also, yeah. Well, I tell you what. But they have
stuff like
they
trees,
they have
fields.
they have a midway, small midway. They have I don't know what they're doing this year, but they got a live band. And they do give proceeds to a charity. Cannot remember who it is. If you want to chime in on that, we're gonna have them here Wednesday. So we'll be talking quite a bit about it. You know what? I don't want to know about your finger magic, but that's okay.
Oh,
Oh,
Hold this.
snap. Look,
But
it's not even after midnight yet. We can't be talking trash yet.
well,
I mean,
I mean,
man.
hopefully we're not gonna last till midnight on this one, but
Agreed.
I'll pass out.
I don't even
But
see. Where's Mark? Where the hell's Mark at?
nobody,
What the heck?
because he didn't get reminded.
no,
he
I
did.
sent him a direct invitation.
Oh, okay. Well, then he's just being lazy.
He's
But anyway,
being an old man
I
because
I think he's
not
a
like he's
Friday
gotta work
nighter.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's not like he's got to work tomorrow. He's been furloughed.
That's a
All
good
his
point.
employees been furloughed.
and
Maybe
uh,
he's out of money. He got no beer money.
I know you have vendors now. I can't mention. I want you to be able to tell us all this stuff Wednesday. I don't know who the hell's eating. I know it's Lee. Who's
No,
eating? Are you?
no.
Is it you?
Shh. You hear nothing.
Because I was thinking about getting popcorn. Oh, he's in the process of moving into his house. Well, that's still no excuse. Lee, actually,
Right?
while we're on the subject of this and going back to the travel thing, do you have people have you book them other places, like like for instance, if somebody knew there were like 3 or 4 big haunts in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, have you had anybody do that? Have you do that, or is it just strictly like the big
Well, with me, because most of the times, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of times, when people want to go to these places, if it's New Orleans, I got you because I can put you in a hotel room that's not gonna get you murdered.
No,
You know.
that's half the experience in New Orleans. Come on.
Okay, well then, James, I got a hotel just for you.
and
Okay.
not just one, by the way. New Orleans, this could be like all of them pretty much.
You better have a big bed. That's all I care about.
I'm
gonna get stabbed. I need a big bed.
There's a couple of them we take turns who's gonna stay up, okay? No. And I don't mean just from the people. I'm talking about the critters too. I mean, just saying. But like other locations like that, because I'm not as familiar with those places, unless you tell me, hey, I'm going here and this is a hotel we like to stay in. A lot of times, not all of the hotels that people want to book are on the vendor sites that I can use because I can't just go on hotels.com or whatever. And even though travel agents do have a version of hotels.com for travel agents, it's a hotels.com type of site. A lot of times, the rooms are limited because what they do is each hotel say they have 100 hotel rooms. And what?
Good night, Pat.
Yeah, she did not.
Night, Pat.
Anyway. What? He's going to bed? Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably passed out 3 or 4 times on the couch already, so.
He's still got to work. He ain't been furloughed.
Once he breaks out the blueberry crawler, he's done.
What do you mean he goes to? He does go to work, but I'm like, it's like one room. He goes to work next to the old woman in the other room.
Yeah. He's got to push past the old woman.
Stop talking about Kelly like that. Right.
Lord.
No, but anyway, they take these rooms, and so they give, the hotel holds back like 80% of the hotel rooms because they want you to book it directly with them. So they hold 80% of their rooms, and they take the remaining amount and dole it out to booking.com, Expedia, whatever you name it out there. That's where the rooms go. So I get on my vendor site and I might only have one option, and it might be, the freaking presidential suite or some shit like that. That's like way more than I'm going to even try to get you to pay. Because again, I'm not here to try and take all your money.
Wait, can
I'm
I
just here
get
to try.
almost murdered in the presidential suite?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely
We call it the
would. Yeah.
Lincoln Room.
Yep. Absolutely. Or the just Governor Edwards room. Just any of these room. But so a lot of times people will come to me, and I give them the price, and I'm like, look, you could probably do better on your own. And quite frankly, a lot of these rooms that don't get that much percentage commission back. So in order for me to not, I would rather you guys save as much money as you can and book it on your own, and me do it, and you've been put in a room that you're not even going to need, just so I can get a measly, $10. Because in some cases that is all that we get. Depending on what vendor it is, sometimes we only get 10% of the price before taxes. And a lot of times, or they put non-commissional rate on there, and a lot of times it's really low. And I'll just tell people, look, you know, what room you want. I'm not finding it. So a lot of times, unless it's something like a cruise, a Disney package, your Universal package, um, any place that's like where you can do packages, a lot of times I don't book them because one, you know, it's just not worth my time to, look for a room that I'm just going to find, and it's going to be hundreds of dollars more than you need. Like, I mean, who wants to spend $300 a night for a room in Birmingham, Alabama, or Baton Rouge? Not me.
Are
Not
there
I would
me.
hotel
be.
rooms in Birmingham, Alabama that cost $300 a night?
Yep.
That's got to be
Oh,
the most
probably.
luxurious shit I've ever seen in
And
Birmingham.
that's the thing. That's the thing. When I go to these vendor sites and I put in the travel dates, and the location, sometimes those are the only ones that come up for vendors for me to book, where they'll say, well, I see it on hotels.com, and I'm like, but I don't, so I'm limited to what I can book sometimes, depending on locations. I mean, I'm limited myself when I'm trying to book for New Orleans, because there's some hotels that I like to stay at New Orleans that are not travel agent friendly, that I would much rather have a friend stay in my non-travel agent friendly hotel because I think it's badass awesome than stay at this Holiday Inn down the street just so I can get $10, $15. I'm kind of like, I'd be doing you a disservice if I did that. I would rather you enjoy your time in the city that I love, and I can still book, zoo tickets, and, we can still do that kind of stuff. But sometimes, for me, since I'm not doing this as much as I was before, now that I'm back doing day job stuff, before I was booking everything and anything. Now, generally, it's friends and family that I book. If you guys refer anybody to me, I book. I don't try to just go out there and get, just random. Been there, done that. There's a lot of crazies out there, lots of them. Like, I don't go to these Disney groups anymore. Uh, no, those people are crazy. Um, but I've had some people tell me that they want to go. Um, there was a couple of haunts in New Orleans they wanted to go to, and they knew specifically where they wanted to stay because it was within walking distance of everything. And um, I was able to spin it into a package only because I was able to get there. They wanted to go to the zoo. I mean, because if you're going to New Orleans, and you've never been, there's certain things that I'm gonna tell you need to do. You need to do this, this, and this. And I was able to spin it into something that was going to be worth everybody's time. What he said? Only time I travel.
He's gone to New Orleans to guest
Act.
act to the haunt. He says he just goes to the haunt, to the room, to the haunt, and then to the hell home.
Oh, you need to travel with me or Mike.
Yeah, you'd be because
Look,
yeah.
we can get you not murdered, okay?
Yeah, nobody's gonna be. I've been to New Orleans now way enough times that I'm pretty sure I'm
Look,
not gonna get murdered.
I was born and
Um,
raised there. I grew up across the river, but my mom worked, which is now it was A&P. It's now Rouse's right there on Mill Street.
Rosses.
I learned how to drive on Bourbon Street because I was stupid and asked my dad, "When you gonna let me drive?" So he throws me the keys and said, "Here you go." And that's where I learned how to drive. That's probably why I drive really bad sometimes. But every time we go, now going as a visitor, I try to do something new every time. And if you just go, just do that and then go back to the room, man, you're doing yourself a major disservice. New Orleans is like no other place I have ever been, and I've been to other countries, and I've had people from other countries go to New Orleans and tell me New Orleans is like some other country because it is. It's
It is
nuts.
another country.
Going out dressed as a clown. Yeah, actually, hello, Halloween. We've gone dressed up crazy, and no, you don't get murdered. Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras. Everybody dresses up.
Oh my God, Mardi Gras.
You dress up, and it does. There's no theme to it. Everybody just dresses however they feel like it.
Or they don't dress.
Or they don't dress, depending on what side of Bourbon you're on.
Yeah, they may not be any clothes involved. That's
if
fine.
you're on the side where it's now rainbow flags, you're about to get an education on male genitalia.
I like to play that game as what the fuck did that guy just say to me?
It's what the fuck is that guy not wearing? Like, where's he got his wallet?
But that's everywhere. New Orleans is that way on a lot of places, really. I mean, you could be if you're late at night next to Cafe Du Monde or something.
You gotta pay attention. I mean, and that's anywhere. You gotta pay attention to downtown Pensacola. What are you talking about, dude?
That powdered sugar is not the only thing getting blown.
Speaking, oh Lord, Lee, do you remember? Total side note. Do you remember when Krispy Kreme, they opened up shop right next? Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
I had a friend. Actually, my cousin. He lives down there. He was there for the opening, like everybody else, because it was free donuts. And he said, yeah, that's the only time he's ever seen a line ever. Was the day it opened, because they were offering, free donuts. Hell yeah, you say free shit in New Orleans, everybody's running. Even if you don't live in the area, if you live in freaking Metairie, you driving in New Orleans. Metairie, for those that don't know, is a pretty good distance away. You can't just walk there. You got to drive through. It's pretty good. It's like from here to Milton. That's kind of how Metairie is. From Pensacola, where I'm at, by the Navy base, to Milton. That's kind of the distance of Metairie. People will drive, and that's kind of what happened. And that was pretty much it. And every time he went by, to go get his actual for real donuts, which we don't call them donuts because that's blasphemy. When you go get your beignet, he never saw really anyone in there.
No.
And the people that were in there were people that didn't know any better, who were visiting, that did not realize, the place that's dirty, that's got all the birds, and it got the people. That's where you really need to be, not this clean place. This is too clean. You need to go to this place. And he said him and his buds, they actually had a bet to see how long it would last, and it actually lasted longer than they all expected. They gave it 6 months. It didn't, financially, they were in the red the whole time. They owed on that building.
James, Kelly said your volume is like 10 times more than anybody else.
We've been on this for almost 2 hours. I'm just now getting this message. What?
Yeah, it's because
what
he's got
the hell?
Badass mic, and I don't know what Mike's got. I just got my phone.
All right, now I can turn my volume down on here.
Yeah, Lee, I don't think Krispy Kreme lasted a year, but
No.
it's all good. I knew you would remember that because it was so
Yeah.
absurd.
It was
But
like it was almost like the people that were building it's like you're not from here. That's kind of like you're not from here because you you're just not from here. You just don't do that. I mean, that's like putting another Irish restaurant right across the street from McGuire's. No, you don't
no,
need to do. That's not gonna happen.
there's people that are gonna listen. Is like, what the hell's a McGuire's? But so
So a
so
really good restaurant.
very good, great burgers and everything else. So Lee, you're gonna definitely go to HHN if they're open.
That's the plan. I mean, at this point, my oldest son lives in Orlando now. He came back from Australia, and the first thing he did was move fucking back to Orlando. So he's here right now because all of his roommates work for Disney, and they were all furloughed, and so they went home to visit their parents and whatever. So he spent 2 weeks by himself and decided he was losing his friggin' mind. So he came home. So mommy and granny, um, you know, take care of him basically because he was losing his mind. Luckily enough, though, he's still able to continue work from home, so he's doing his thing. But he's going back on Thursday actually. Because the roommates are all coming back because they are going to look for a house to rent. So if anyone knows of any areas in Orlando that's a good place to rent a house for like 4 young men, hit me up because that's what they're going to go do. Because he I don't think he's ever coming back. So for me, it's an extension to visit, my kid. And,
Yeah.
whether we go in September or October, I'm going. And depending on when I go and how it is depending on if I'm going to, do multiple nights with Express Pass or if I'm just going to say screw it and just, stimulate the economy a little bit more and get the RIP. Because quite honestly, I enjoyed being VIP. That was nice. I've done it twice and I really enjoyed it. Probably more than I should have.
Do you think,
Um,
Lee? Do you think that because this is Ronnie and Jim's biggest thing with Halloween Horror Nights is the frequent fear pass. Do you think that they'll change something with the frequent fear pass since it makes so many people go so many
oh,
nights?
Mark is finally here. It's about time, Mark.
Damn,
But
Mark, you move your
anyway,
house.
I know,
Did you
right?
move your
Damn, it's about
house?
friggin' time. You're kind of late, dude. Seriously. We've already talked trash about you and everything.
Oh, and Lee, before you answer that question, I do want to side note. We're under a tornado watch until
Yeah, I
4 a.m. So I just be
know. Don't
sure you
die.
tie. No, be sure you tie your hair down. Anyway, so what's your
What do you think I'm using to hold me down? I've tied my hair down and I'm not going anywhere.
She's
to a
just gonna
pole?
wrap
Um,
everybody up in it.
No
She's got the
kidding.
whole family safe.
okay. Kelly says I don't think there will be free. Um, the problem is they've already sold some. They've already sold a version of some sort of tickets
Oh wow,
to some of the UK and stuff like that. Because they can buy their tickets ridiculously sooner than we can. Yeah,
that
and
was another
FFP
question. Yeah.
it is already on sale now. Now, would be nice if they actually limited this to an actual reasonable number, which we know they're not because they're hurting for money and they're going to slam everybody in there as much as possible. But no, I don't. If anything, I think the prices are going to go up a lot faster than they normally do. So, you know, if if it gets word that hey, we're opening up and you got the money, buy the tickets because the closer they get to the dates, the more those tickets go up. Um, you know, I had bought my tickets before, and Dylan's roommates. We had all our tickets in advance, and Dylan's roommate decided that they wanted to go and they thought they were going to get the same price that I got. I'm like, go online, bud. It's now like $20 more a ticket per person, and
Wow.
that was just for the regular get in the door ticket, and not to mention the express pass went up by another $20-$30. Um, so if they have it, prices are probably going to go a lot faster as far as up in price, and certainly the night of. Um, I don't expect seeing. I expect seeing Express Pass selling out
Oh
a
yeah.
lot faster than they normally do. Um, there won't be any sort of, after a certain time, like, what is it, 10 o'clock, the express passes are 50% off or whatever. I don't see that happening because I really honestly don't think they're going to have any left because people are going to be in the same line as I don't want to stand in the regular line that we normally stay in. Hey, we got a stimulus check. Fuck it.
We
We're
got
going
a
to get express
stimulus.
this year. So, I mean, they're not kidding. Stimulus check. No, you mean universal money or whatever. Yeah. You mean
mean
Halloween Horror
Express
Night money.
Pass?
Yeah, you mean Express Pass money. I've had a lot more people tell me that they're going to stay on property this year as opposed to last year because of the extra stuff that Universal did. We stayed at the Cabana Bay, which is my all-time favorite resort for Universal. It's Cabana Bay Beach. I love that resort. I don't know what it is about it. I just feel happy when I'm there, and if you don't know me, I'm not normally happy.
I
Like,
agree. Cabana
like,
Bay is awesome, but
I love that hotel. We're not there enough to. I would love to stay at Hard Rock, but Mama don't have that kind
Sapphire.
of money.
Sapphire
Um,
won it for me last year, man. That place.
I- I've had 50-50 on that one.
The boat's what makes it for me. Being able to get
Yeah,
on that boat and just go straight to the park like that
but
is
but
just
see, I've had more experience with those boats not working because it's Florida. It rains all the fucking time. So when you're told, "Oh, boats are closed, you got to get on the bus," well, I'm paying extra to have a boat when half the time it ain't working. So I don't know. I haven't stayed there yet. I did a walkthrough and I just like the fun feel of Cabana Bay. I love the fact that you have a choice whether you want to be in one of the rooms where you're connected to the main building or you want one of the rooms where you open the door, like a motel room. You
yeah,
got the hotel or the motel.
the outdoor entryway.
I like the indoor entryway. And I don't care if there's 4 or 5 of us or 2. I will always get the family room because I like to spread out. I like to have that extra little, area. And, I've had more people tell me that they're going to stay on property because, Cabana Bay last year had the Stranger Things, photo op. That was really cool. And only hotel guests can get in. And only if you were Cabana Bay you couldn't hotel bounce. They were very stickler about that. Like I couldn't go from Hard Rock to Cabana Bay to do the photo op, which you could, but you couldn't at the same time. They allow you to do where you can pool hop with Universal, whereas Disney you can't. Universal allows you to pool hop, but for this, they weren't allowing you to pool hop. And it was there was a couple of people that came from other hotels and they said, well, right now we're only letting the Cabana Bay hotel members go through the line, and they told them when they can come back. It was like 30 minutes, come back, and we let other people, but it wasn't really advertised as that. It was you had to stay at that hotel, which was cool. And so I've got people telling me that they want to stay on property for those little extras that, I mean, we stayed on property because of that. That was, that was the main reason why we stayed on property, because we were just going to stay at some random, matter of fact, I don't even remember the cheap hotel I had booked down the road. It was within walking distance in case we decided we wanted to walk. But when I saw that they were doing, the extra stuff at the hotel and we wanted to see what it was, we decided to stay on property. I've stayed at the Portofino. I can't do that hotel.
Nah, that
Um,
Portofino I think it's too much for me. Like
it's I stayed there many years ago when I became a travel agent. What are you doing, Mike? It sounds like you're outside.
it's getting windy.
Sorry, I actually am outside. I was like, okay, it's getting kind of windy.
Yes, you need.
So,
He told you you're under a tornado watch. He's
I
just
know.
keeping you alert.
Let me go back inside. Sorry about that. Sorry, everybody.
Fudge, man.
Sorry about that.
But,
Let me go inside. There we
we
go.
we stayed
There
there,
we go.
and a lot of the other agents were a little bit more yuppie than I am. Not to say that that's bad, but um, I felt really out of place at this hotel. Like really, really out of place. Like wow, okay, my holy jeans and t-shirt, I'm out of place. And so for me, that hotel just has that upper class feel about it. That it's like when you hold your wine glass, you got to put your finger out, kind of stuff. So for me, it's just too fancy. And I've been to Italy, and yes, that reminds me of Italy, but it reminds me of the part of Italy that was kind of snobby.
I don't know. To
Um,
me, it's not worth the money. Like if I'm gonna stay at one where I
yeah,
have
that
boat
too.
access, I'm just gonna stay at Sapphire because it's a beautiful hotel. You have the boat access, and it's like $150 cheaper a night than freaking
hmm Yeah,
Portofino.
and Mark just mentioned, yeah, there's other hotels at Universal. It's called Endless Summer.
The new
They're going to be
ones.
supposedly opening soon, depending on if if they keep everything going. And annual pass holders and travel agents were the first ones that were able to get it booked. And of course, they're going to fill the rest of the rooms up with just anybody that wants to get in there. But I live in Florida. For me to stay at a hotel that reminds you of the beach just does nothing for me. I mean, and I guess that's kind of what a lot of the Universal hotels are like. The Royal Pacific, been to Hawaii. That kind of reminds me of that, but for the price. The only thing about those is you get the express pass, but depending on when you go, you may or may not need that. Um, and then you've got, what was the other one you said? I can't remember the name. Uh,
Frequent Fair Pass?
no, the hotel, not you,
Which
James.
one?
The hotel,
The
Or
the
Sapphire
Port
Falls?
of
yeah, the Sapphire. Um, that one kind of reminds me. Did it seem more beach themed to you?
It's kind of beachy, but it's beach themed. Like the
Yeah,
big chandeliers, like beach balls and stuff.
yeah, and
Um,
see, and that's kind of where I'm sitting there thinking, well, if I'm gonna do some sort of beachy theme kind of room, I'm gonna go with one that's like somewhere I've never been. Look, I'm young. I've never grew up in the 50s, and that's exactly what Cabana Bay is. You're in the 50s and the 60s. I didn't grow up during that time. My
I like the
mom did.
colors. Like
Yeah, the colors, I was looking at the pictures the other night, and just looking at the pictures, if that doesn't brighten your day up, you're evil like Mike. I'm just gonna say.
Uh,
Mm.
Uh,
hey Jabby, how are you doing? Sorry,
Hey,
don't mean to
Jabby.
cut you
and
off there, Lee. Just wanted
and
to say hello.
Danielle, I'm not sure if that BOGO ticket is still available. I haven't been on the site to see. There is a good chance they may extend that just because, again, they're hurting for money. Um, so they may have the BOGO ticket, but the BOGO ticket, you got to remember, is limited to what night you can go. So if you'd rather go on one night or another, I think you can't go on Saturday night, which is a good night to go. Like the energy's a bit better on Saturday nights for Halloween Horror Nights. Um, it's more crowded, but you get a different energy. Um, so you got to look at that. If you're only doing a weekend and you get the BOGO ticket, you got to look at what days you can go, because you may not be able to use it like you think. Because I looked into that and I was like, well, that means I have to go on a Friday or a Sunday or something like that, instead of 2 days in a row. And, unless you plan on staying longer. Let's see what else.
We
Yeah.
we're doing pretty good, Jabby. Right now we're talking with Lee. She is our resident travel agent. Um, getting some inside information, sort of. And
Sorta. What?
I don't want to look. I don't want to say inside information because then it's like.
Hey, when you book with me, I give you all my secrets. I don't give I don't give you any secrets unless I see your credit card.
Good. You know what? There's not anything about those two damn last sentences that didn't sound like something from a porn movie. I'm telling you.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, New Orleans girl.
I'm honest. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, I have I have learned early on Yeah, my secret's marked. I learned early on, if you give too many secrets, then the client's like, well, then why do I need you? I'll take your shit and go book it myself.
Yep.
Okay, I've,
You were talking
you know,
about that one time. Somebody was like, you gave them all this information, they went and booked themselves.
yeah, I mean, that was like early on when I first, because there was all intentions they were going to book. I already had all their information. The only thing I didn't have was their credit card to do the deposit. They were waiting on the husband's job to confirm it. Well, when I followed up with them, she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we went ahead and booked." I'm like, "You did what? you what?" Like I said, I don't get paid unless I book it, and then you travel. So for me to give any of secrets. Like, I'm not going to tell you my secrets about Halloween Horror Nights, which I have some that even you guys might not even know about.
Secrets are
Uh, you know,
secrets.
secrets. Secrets with Disney, and things like that are what I think you should do better than this or that. Where you should waste your money at, and where you shouldn't waste your money at. It's you're not going to get any of that out of me anymore because when you've been burned way too many times, you know
I think Danielle
that.
just came up with your new
What?
slogan. Lee
Oh Lord.
helps you not get murdered.
Well, if we're talking about New Orleans, yes, sister, that is true. I will help you not get murdered.
Unless you
Yeah,
want to
and
be. And then
unless you want to be,
she's got you covered there too.
got you covered. You pissed me off. Yeah, I might put you in a hotel room that you think is a good one, and I'm gonna tell you it's a good one, but it's not. Shoot, for New Orleans, I would even consider being a personal travel agent. I will meet you there. Let's go. Because that's how much I love my city. And I've even had someone wanted me to meet them in Universal and be their private tour guide, and I'm like, well, I can't exactly do that. That's a 7-hour drive, and two, um, I'm not allowed to do that. Universal would kick my butt. I could go as a friend, but I can't get you. Oh, okay, Javi. Yeah, you want to? All right, all right. I like that
You
one.
go you go right ahead and say that, Lee. You go right ahead and say it.
All right.
Yeah, I know exactly what the hell you're gonna say.
What? What was I gonna say? Go ahead. You
Something
tell
about
me.
something about giving somebody a good time.
I'm
I know
getting
how you are.
I'm getting ready with the censor button. Hold on. Give me a second.
Beep, 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 beep.
Well, see, Kelly, that's why you got to stop doing that. You send them to me. I have perfected the roundabout not giving you my information. It's kind of like I get the little bit. Let's get you booked and we can talk about these details. Let's get you booked, because if we don't, the hotel room is going to be gone, which is true with Universal and Disney. I mean, more so for Universal. Rooms go quick, especially the nights of those events. Holy moly, the closer it gets, you get more staycationers, people, that live there that don't want to have to drive home that night. um, they get those annual pass rates, because for annual pass, you get a discount. For Florida residents, yes ma'am, whoop whoop, we get a discount too. um, so a lot of these staycationers, tend to book up those remainder nights, and things get booked. So I have learned the get around. I'm not gonna give you all my info. uh, she's talking about, yeah, Mark, I'm talking about you. Absolutely talking about you. Probably, I would. Well, no, no, she's not that far along. I was about to say she was probably conceived during it, but no, she ain't that far along, is she? Was she conceived during Halloween Horror Nights? TMI, but I'm just saying that probably, because how many times did I run into you at Halloween Horror Nights last year? Oh my God. The one year we actually, Mark was actually a nice guy, y'all. Let me tell you what he did.
He was.
Well, I
I
was gonna say
know.
past
Woo!
tense. That's great.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was. Now he scares me about Rock and Roller Coaster, that he doesn't need to show me these things. I don't need to see pictures of Rock and Roller Coaster being, put back together. I don't need to see that. But he had these tickets that the cast members got that could only be used during a certain time, and we were there. And okay, and
The night I gave her a Mercedes.
well, hey, you give me a Mercedes, you're probably gonna get something too. Not you personally, Mark. No. But anyway, the
My God.
hey,
And
it's
with
late
that, we're
now.
gonna end this.
No. He actually he gave us his tickets, which he didn't have to. Um, went above and beyond, transferred them over. My buds really so I told him, look, when I come back for Halloween Horror Nights, I'm gonna buy you a beer. So we met up for Halloween Horror Nights. That's when my kids wanted to kill him. Like I'm not even kidding you. Dylan wanted to kick his ass. For one, he comes in, 65,000 feet tall, and you know, looks way older than he is. I thought he was lying when he told me his age. I'm like, no, you're lying. He shows me his ID. And of course, he is a flirtatious guy. I mean, I'm a flirtatious girl. I mean, I don't, whatever. I guess that's just the Southern me. I don't know.
Settle down, you two.
Well,
What
Dylan,
the hell just happened?
so
Jesus.
we were just chit chatting like normal, and Dylan thought he was hitting on me because he wanted to buy me a drink, not the beer, but a drink, because I don't drink beer. So he was like, well, if you want a drink, I'll buy you a drink. And he was going to take me to his favorite bar, which was not where we were at, because we were in the holding pen by the Simpsons. And he was going to take me to his favorite bar. Well, Dylan had a couple of drinks. And my child, unfortunately, he thinks he can hold his liquor. He cannot hold his liquor. So he misunderstood our entire playful conversation, because we've known each other for a while. We kicked back and forth. I picked on him. He picked on me. I still call him Newsom or Nismo. So it was kind of like he misunderstood, and he wanted to kick his ass right then and there. No, you don't remember because you were drunk too.
Go back
So
outside,
he,
Indy.
so he didn't he wanted to kick his butt like all over the place. So then we that year's over. We go next year. So my kids are both of my boys are like, are we meeting any of your weird friends this year? I'm like, what do you mean my weird friends? I said, Dylan, did you think Pat and Kelly were weird? He's like, oh no, they were cool, but that other one, he was weird. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, you mean Mark? He's like, yeah, I was gonna kick his ass. I'm like, okay. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna meet anyone. And who do we run into like 50,000 times? I ran into Ronnie. I think it was Jim. I ran into Mark. On a year, I told my sons we weren't running into any of the weird friends. I ran into all of them.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, any of the weird friends. That's what all these people you meet in these groups, Mom. They're not your friends. They're weird friends. That's what they say.
I am
like,
so glad your children have never met me.
You would be in the weird friends. Yeah, we met I forget who else we met. I'm gonna call her out if I can remember her name. Hang on a minute. Where is it at? But yeah, Mark, Elizabeth. We met Elizabeth. Was it Culture? Culture? Is that how you pronounce her name? We met her and her husband. We met her the same year that we met Mark. But Dylan, to this day, tells me he's still going to beat Mark's ass because he still thinks that Mark was trying to hit on me. And I was like, they're about like literally engaged. I don't care. I'm going to whip his ass. I'm like, son, I'm not going with anyone. I'm with someone. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to whip his ass. I'm like, okay, well, you don't need to have no more drinks. So, Halloween Horror Nights is a place that you will definitely. I've run into the Potters. Finally, I told them if they get their butts there, if we do not meet, that's it. I'm unfriending them forever. Finally met up with them, and I couldn't keep up with them. Holy moly. Woo. I don't know how you guys can drink, man, and do these events. I don't know how y'all can go through these houses and have these drinks and not like run into things. I can barely walk through the houses and not be drinking, let alone what are they like, Jägermeister?
Yep.
No, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. No way possible. And I know Mark doesn't remember running into me because he was probably like 12 beers deep. Yeah, you need to meet up with the Potters. They're a fun crew. Definitely.
The Potters are awesome.
Frank was
Yeah.
in here earlier. I don't know. He disappeared pretty quick though.
We scared him. Right. Yeah, we scared him away too. I don't know. I mean, I'm disappointed that the event's kind of gone the way that it is. More childish and, last year, I don't know how many houses that were like PG-13. Um, I was very disappointed. So for them to not really have anything announced yet really has me worried. I want to go. I probably will go. Will I say that this was the best year ever? Probably not. Even with it being the 30th anniversary, if they keep going the PG-13 route, they're going to probably lose me soon because I mean, I can't spend this kind of money to go to an event when it's Ghostbusters or Stranger Things and what was it? Ghostbusters, Stranger Things. What's the other house that
Killer
was just
Clowns.
Killer Clowns. I mean, I love these movies, but what part of horror was any of that? And even the houses that were their own creation, in some ways felt a little downplayed. And now that what's his name, Mike Aiello, can't pronounce his name. Now that he's not doing it,
Yeah, it's going to be such a weird year for them because
yeah, I
it's
mean,
their lack
when he
of consistent leadership now, with all of what's going on. Plus, that budget's taking a hit. It's got to.
what? Are you serious, Mark? They're not going to be able to have anything
Yeah, they can't have any kind of
blocking.
dividers or anything.
Oh, because it passes over your face
Yeah.
and you touching it, which is good because I can't tell you how many times I was smacked in the face because, it's right at that level of my face, most of these things. And it's people, the tall people will walk through it and just plow me with it. And these things are not light. They're heavy. I have been nearly knocked out. There was one house. It had like animal fur dangling, and I'm allergic to animals and fur and all that, and to have that dangling and it was like going across my face, I left that house itching so bad that I stopped at the EMT guy and I was like, I need alcohol swabs, and he's like, why? It would hurt. I said, because all of that, the animal skins that just rub across my face, I'm itching on fire. Which I take I have Benadryl with me at all times, so I knew I was going to take a Benadryl, which it does not make me sleepy, but it just pissed me off that I was going to have to do that because it was dangling in such a way that nasty, furry, and it was wet because, they were like spraying the little wetness. Like wet dog. Would you want your face on a wet dog? Because that's exactly what it felt like. And I can just imagine walking through it now with everybody. I mean, people are going to have masks on. We already know that. People are going to have their nasty gloves. Don't get me started on that. But to have it in such a way now that they can't have that in between, I'm curious to see how we're not going to see jumps,
I think,
scares.
Yeah, I think Michael pretty much has that one figured out already. They're just gonna do like a heavy fog in the doorways,
which is going to kill people with asthma.
Yeah, well,
so it's
well,
like,
if you don't like it, don't go.
Yeah, if you don't like it,
that's it. I'm done.
Don't go.
I'm out. I'm out.
We're out. Tagging out.
Yeah, I will be at your house in about 4 minutes. Okay. Who's got a lighter?
It was my knife.
Yeah, that's why I was like, and I was like, oh my god, I hope that is James's knife because I may
You,
have to
what,
go into the center of the house.
James? Why do you feel you gotta have a knife, and why are you
I have
flicking
two.
it?
That was
Why are
because
you
it was sound
flicking it?
effects for Michael's
Why?
demise.
Oh, oh, he's not gonna hear it. See,
No,
that's the thing.
she's not going to
Just
use a knife. She's gonna
no.
do like she did that poor scare actor and just pop me right in the face.
He's
Oh,
not gonna hear it.
Jet,
It's
it's gonna be like whoosh whoosh. I'm gonna hear her hair swirling around. Jabby, we
no.
talked about that by the way, and we don't think there's gonna be any virus themed. I'm sorry, I wanted to. Jabby talked about coronavirus. We don't think
Well,
that's probably gonna
we
happen.
we had that one. What was it last year? We had that virus. Was it last year? We had that virus theme one. I think it was last year. And that was kind of creepy. And I could see them, because they reuse shit all the time. I can see them saying fuck it and redoing it, and I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's like
it would
Mark
be
had
in
said
poor,
though.
it would be very poor taste if they did. Um, but you know what? They would earn a whole nother level of respect for me if they did.
I don't want to see it though. I'm so over it already that like
I don't want to see it
I
either.
just don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
don't want
deal
to
with
see it.
it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm okay if they have another Ghostbusters house. Just anything that I don't have to hear about this, and wearing a mask. Oh, damn. You talk about getting murdered. That would do it. My allergies, I'm like sneezing like crazy because of pollen. I went into Walmart and I sneezed like 4 times, and the person at the door just kind of looked at me like, "You coming in?" Yeah, I'm coming in. But,
Lee, I went to that Big Lots across the street from Walmart on Navy, and there was this meth addict woman. She was hacking all over like the beauty aisle section,
oh,
and I was like, "Thank God I don't need any nail polish or something." And when I checked out, I told them because I know all those people in that Big Lots, and they're like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Yeah." I said,
uh,
meth lady's hacking all over like the nail polish section."
I don't go to Big Lots anymore. You remember years ago when the car went through the building?
See you, Danielle.
That
Thanks
was
for stopping by and hanging out.
Yeah. Thanks, Danielle. But that was when it was
Yeah,
not where
holler
it
at me
is
later,
now.
Danielle. Yeah, it was in the other building. Um, but for a while there, because I was standing right there when it happened, like the car was like 2 feet away from me when it stopped.
Wow.
And then I had to help the guy because he was having a heart attack in the car. And his foot was still on the gas, and we had to like climb through the broken window and get the door to get him because he was still steadily pushing on the gas. But luckily enough, the way the car it kind of jumped up on the part of the wall, it was concrete. His tires weren't on. All 4 tires were no longer on the ground. They were kind of up. Well, for a while I couldn't go back.
Oh, I got you.
I couldn't, and then now it's just not the same. I mean, it's just kind of I mean, I don't like the new layout. And even their Halloween stuff is kind of crappy. I mean, it's really bad, but it's even worse now than it was before. Um, so I have not been in that store. I can count on one hand how many times I've been in it since the new location.
Uh,
And another reason why is in the left hand side in the back where they normally have like the toys where the Halloween stuff is and all that.
yeah.
There's this loud, like piercing noise that I can't stand. I don't know what it is. I can hear a dog whistle, so I can hear that like it's like right on top of me. It sounds like an air vent. There's something that's over there that I can't stay in that building for too long.
Huh.
Which is good for me because then I don't spend that much money.
It's probably that meth woman. She crawls up in the ceiling.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't gone. I mean, I think maybe Christmas time I went. I haven't been in that one. I mean, the Dollar Tree is crackheads, nothing but crackheads that go in that Dollar Tree. But
I love how your stores all sound like they're just haunted houses, like on the
oh
They
run.
are.
yeah,
It's
Oh, they
always
are.
an adventure just to go to the
They are.
Oh yeah.
They are.
go to
When
the
you feel
dollar
like
store, and it's like, holy shit.
in this particular area that we're talking about, if you don't feel like you need to take a bath when you get out the store, you're just as trashy as they are because
Jesus.
it's pretty bad. They're the only thing that's clean in that whole area is the Chick-fil-A.
I was getting ready to say Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
That's funny.
That's the only thing in that entire section. And I'm even including the bank, man. Even the bank, sometimes I go in and I'm like, oh, and that's my bank. But
The
Chick-fil-A,
Lord's
man,
chicken has to be clean.
yeah, the Lord's chicken, they got it down. But yeah, that particular area, it's just, whoo, yeah,
Especially right now. I mean, it's gotten 10 times worse, but it's one big
right.
haunted. Warrington is one big haunted house that you can
Yeah.
drive through. It's a drive-through haunted house.
And then depending on what time of night, you may get a show or not. Like, we got a couple weeks
Kelly.
ago.
What? Wait, what?
Up a game of fire. What?
My
What you doing
5-year-old
giving
just
your
finished a bowl
5-year-old ice cream?
She does what she
Oh
wants.
my lord!
Her dad's eating a
Oh.
blueberry cruller and tuna.
I mean, hey,
That whole
whatever.
household is just chaos, I imagine. Just
I don't mind.
utter chaos.
Look, Kelly's home, Pat's home, the baby's home, old lady's home. It's chaos. It's chaos. Kelly gonna need to come down here just to get away. I mean,
She needs to book a vacation in New Orleans.
hell yeah. Like a grown-up a vacation. Grown-ups, adults only. No, Mark, you're not invited. You're not
Oh
grown
my
enough.
God. Mark, have you ever been? You've been to New Orleans, haven't you, Mark? I can't imagine you haven't been to New Orleans.
I don't think he has.
Man, dude, if I tell you what, Mark would like go to New Orleans and he would never leave.
No, he would be arrested, and probably NOPD would kick him out.
Oh, Mark's not an adult. That's right.
No, he ain't. Oh, he ain't grown enough.
I need an
Oh
adult.
damn! Shit, we need to go to Kelly's house. She's been cooking.
Oh my God. No, God. She like made like a freaking Golden Corral buffet at her house tonight.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, and Mark has never been to New Orleans. Well, time to book a trip.
No,
Maybe not the time to book a trip.
not now. No, hell no. His wife would kill me.
Well, that's probably true.
To bring back, he would have to. Okay, in general, when you get back from New Orleans, not talking about pandemic New Orleans, I'm talking about like normal New Orleans.
Jeez, what the
You
fuck?
have to like hose down. Pandemic New Orleans, like you got to spend 30 days in a hotel room by yourself and like hose down and like burn the clothes you were in and yeah. I don't
I'm
know if
sorry.
you-
That's terrible. It's like not pandemic New Orleans, but the regular pornographic. I'm gonna get murdered after drinking too many shots. New Orleans.
You're
No,
not gonna get not
you
if
know.
if I send you, you're gonna get not murdered. Remember,
Holy shit.
they're not murdered.
I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna say, not the pandemic New Orleans, the other New Orleans. What the fuck? What are you like? Goddamn, Lee. I'm gonna call my parents. I'm gonna go not to the pandemic New Orleans.
You make
I want to go back. I want to go back to the murder capital of the damn planet, New Orleans. Back when it was fun. Jesus.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God. Jesus. And
It's
even
wait. What?
It's
What's the difference between New Orleans or Nerona and what is safe? Well.
there's no safe
see-
New Orleans. It's just now when the bums cough on you like that. Anyway,
It's
sorry,
just
Lee. Go ahead.
dangerous and really fucking dangerous.
It's your
It's the
town.
two
It's your
levels.
town, Lee.
It's
Explain to Jabby.
Okay, so like regular New Orleans, if a bum, if you walk past the bum and they like try to grab at you because they want $1, you just like fuck off, right? Rona New Orleans, when they try that, you like you beating them, kicking them, like you trying to kill me because right now a sneeze, people think you're trying to kill them.
Oh
Like
my
you
god.
just sneeze, that means you're killing me. If you sneeze on someone in New Orleans or New York right now, they could take you in for assault. I mean, just
The
saying.
and the other difference too between pandemic New Orleans and regular New Orleans are there's more rats out right now.
Oh my
There's
God, they had to put the homeless people that were underneath the bridge. Who is eating?
Damn it.
that's
What
Would
not
you
me.
stop stop calling
the
attention to my jelly beans? Just let me enjoy them.
Look, I told you I have extremely good hearing. So like I
No,
hear
I
these
can hear.
noises and I'm
No,
like, what the
I hear it
um
too.
I have
It's I'm
headphones
like
on. I
that's fine.
can't hear the noises I'm making.
oh, you can't hear the noises you're making, huh?
Well, if you were in pandemic New Orleans, you'd hear it.
If you in pandemic New Orleans, you hear everything.
God,
Look,
God.
they took the homeless people that were underneath like, the bridges and shit in the little homeless camps and put them in hotels because the rats were attacking them
Yeah.
because there's no food. And so like the rats are freaking
Wait
out.
a
Like
minute.
where
Wait,
they're like, where my food, bitches?
the rats are
So
eating people?
no, they're attacking the homeless because the homeless they got food and stuff because they've been given free food. So
Oh
what they've
yeah.
been doing is they're holding on to that food and they got it in their little bunker or whatever, their little tent
Jesus
or whatever the
Christ.
fuck they got. And so now all the rats are going in, and the rats don't care. They be biting on the people too, and so they can't have these rats that can give you all these other god awful things that are worse than Rona. They can't have the rats doing that to the homeless people because the homeless are just out there. They just out there.
Do you
I mean, they just nasty.
do you realize the more we talk about New Orleans, the thicker her accent is getting?
No, no. This is normal for Lee because she
Yeah.
goes back. She goes back to her not her previous pre-pandemic New Orleans
Would you
roots.
spit it out already?
I'm trying to, but
Okay,
it's your
Jabby, you said
pre-pandemic.
you're in Texas. What part of Texas are you in?
He's not in Texas anymore.
No, not me,
Uh,
Jabby.
Oh,
Jabby.
Jabby. Oh,
Yeah, pay
Yeah,
attention.
they technically
Pay
did
attention.
clear up traffic. They got people off the
Because
streets.
Texas is about to open the damn doors and be like, "Hey, bitches, we open again." So I'm a little curious what part of Texas. My
Well,
daughter is in Texas.
I lived in a suburb of Houston. There were some places in Houston I wasn't gonna fuck with. There were just areas I wasn't going.
Don't tell me it's part of Humble, Texas, if that's one of the suburbs, because
No,
that's where my daughter lives.
Humble is nothing. There's nothing there.
Yeah, that's where she lives. That's where her apartment is, because her the Waffle House that she runs is in Humble, but they closed hers down, which is scary because hers was the first Waffle House in the entire corporation that closed. Hers, of course. So they've been sending her to other locations. So she's been working in some that have been in the Houston areas and stuff like that. And she calls while she's driving. She's like, "These people are crazy."
Oh, Houston traffic's the worst, man. I
Oh
live
yeah,
in the
she
Northeast
absolutely.
now, and like I, I would rather drive in New York than Houston.
Yeah, and see, this kid, she partly grew up in New Orleans a little bit. For the most part, during her teen years or her driving years, was here in Pensacola. That shit don't get you prepared for nothing.
That
And
nothing
nothing. And
prepares you
so
for Houston.
no, so basically, this kid, before, she was terrified to drive on the turnpike or I-4. Now she's like, "Mama, pull over. I got this." Because I hate driving in Orlando. Absolutely hate it. Now that I've got a local, I hand him the keys. I'm like, "Here you go. Take us around." Because I won't drive in Orlando. I don't like it. It's just fucking crazy. Too many visitors that don't know what the hell they're doing. They go from one lane to 5 lanes in 2 seconds just to get off. Well, apparently that's all they do in Houston. That's normal all day long. So she's had to learn how to drive real quick. So she says it takes a good 45 minutes just to get 5 miles down the road. I
Yeah,
see.
and where she is, there's it's pretty calm compared to
Yeah,
like
where her
downtown
location,
Houston.
yeah, where she's at, she's actually in a really nice area, like where her apartment and everything. It's close to the airport too. When we flew in from Australia, my son and I, because everybody went to Australia to visit Dylan, but her and her wife, they came back a week before me and my son did. So we were still there for another week visiting Dylan. So when we flew home, instead of having a 7 hour layover in New Zealand and being stuck in their airport, I chose to have a 5 hour layover in the Houston airport because my daughter lives there. I was like, good, you can come pick us up, take us to your apartment, let's check out, where you live or whatever. So when she took us there, I was a little worried because what we had to go through. I'm like, oh Lord, where do you live? You live in the hood? Then we got closer to where her apartment was. I was like, oh wow, this is a really nice area. It's kind of like in our area, like East Hill ish feel. It was really nice, and it explains why she spends so much on rent because
Mm.
where she's at. But now she's been working in several areas, um, several Waffle Houses in the Houston area because she's trying her best not to get furloughed. Um, and some of the places that she's telling me about, I'm just like, holy hell. She's like, yep, we were robbed today or this and that. I'm like, you were what?
We were robbed. No
What?
big
Like,
deal.
like it's yeah. I mean, like seriously, the way they talk about how they're robbed, and I don't mean just, I mean at gunpoint kind of stuff, like it's no big deal. And she's like, oh, that's just normal. I'm like, what?
Yeah, there's places in Houston like that for sure.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, oh dear God.
They don't even
Okay, so
report the shit on the news. They're just like, yeah, it's another day
no,
in Houston.
yeah, she said pretty much. She said, they the her location's actually been robbed several times by gunpoint, but never while she's there because it turns out it was probably inside job, so they made sure she was never there.
Mm.
Um, but the other locations, I mean, they get robbed like every other week. It's like, what the hell? I said, she's like, yeah, now they feel bad for us, so they don't rob us because we don't have any money. We're not, the Waffle Houses are usually known for having, stacks of bills because, you get drunk, you get hungry, you go to Waffle House. They're always open. I mean, just look at how many Waffle Houses or IHOPs do they have by the parks over there, and how many of them are still open after the event, and how many of them have seats to sit in? None. No seats. We tried that.
Hmm.
No, no. So she's unfortunately not going to get to go to the event this year because I don't know if any of y'all know I'm going to be a grandmother this year.
I did
Yay.
see that.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations.
I'm
That's
way too
cool.
freaking young for that shit, but hey, I guess I get
Grandma
that
Lee.
because no, I will not be booking no more vacations for you if you talk like that. But no, she's due at the end of October, beginning of November. Um, so probably this will not be the year that they're going to be going. I just don't see that happening. New name is going to be Gma. Uh, I was kicking that around, and I don't even know this guy.
Jima, Mama,
Um,
Meemaw. What are all those
no,
southern things?
no, I will cut your tongue off. No.
what? Hold on a minute. Oh, I'm just saying things that I've heard southern people say.
I will cut your tongue off. No, no, no Grammy, no
Grammy.
grandma.
It's already been
Yeah.
established that I'm the old woman in this group, so.
Why are you the old woman in
Because
the
I'm the
group?
one with the candy dish with the strawberry candies that nobody knows where to
Oh
find
yeah,
in the.
oh no, oh yeah, you got the old man candy. Like when the old men at the doctor's office, when they come in and they're like, "Oh, you're just so sweet," and they pull out the candy out of the pocket and it's got like hair dust on it from like 1960, and it's like that red strawberry looking wrapper.
There's a
Is
couple
that what you
bolts and
and like
wa-
whatever else
a
in there, like
washer.
wadded up like receipt from 1942? Yeah, that's the kind of candy you got, you old man candy. But I don't know. I feel bad for the kids because I have a feeling this year we're gonna have another Stranger Things house, um, which I don't know. I don't know if anybody's a fan of Stranger Things. We
Watch it.
enjoy watching it. It's okay. The hype is way more than it needs to be. It's just more nostalgic for me because I'm an '80s kid. I don't know, James, you're around my age.
84.
My, yeah. So well, yeah. Mark, you think that? You were born in '84.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that year. That was the year that the New Orleans had their World's Fair. Yeah, you're you're a bit older than me. I'm a bit older than you. Um, and I know Mike's old as dirt, so
Y'all shut the hell up. In 1984, I was actually a freshman in high school.
exactly. So you old as dirt.
That is true.
So yeah, I have a feeling they're gonna have a few houses that they're gonna.
Lily.
No,
Wait a
no,
minute.
no, Kelly, no. I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate that, like with a passion. And the fact that my
I just
best
lied.
friend growing up, who passed away many years ago, he used to call me that. So he's the only one that's allowed to call me that.
You
Since
get
he's no
shot
longer
every time
here.
they overreact. You must get plastered.
Who? Who? Wait a minute.
Jabby they play a drinking game while watching it. Take a shot every time they overreact.
Oh God! You must be drunk before the first commercial.
Straight chugging it.
I mean, it's kind of a funny, nostalgic show.
Hey, James. What's going on, man?
Do I think they need to have another house? No.
Primo the Clown. There's a lot of clown action tonight.
That sounds really, really bad.
Listen, damn it.
Born in '67.
No,
Okay,
we've
so
already encroached on the porn thing this evening. We're done with it.
I didn't even say anything. You got your mind way in the gutter. I didn't even say anything. I just said that sounded really, really bad. See, you young children have your minds in the gutter. Born in '67. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're older than me. Okay, first question.
I still think Mike's
Oh,
got it.
Oh,
Well-
Mark. Oh.
No, I forgot. Actually, I forgot. I started high school in 1986. I had to think for a minute.
Since you're that old, you couldn't remember.
No, that's very true. So
Okay,
actually,
so-
James is the James on here, not James on here. Is 3 years older than me.
Oh, okay. Jabby wants to know why your mind went straight to porn.
Who wants to know this? Because I don't know what we're talking about. She broke her mic. See?
No, I'm back.
That's a good question. I don't have an answer for you. Things happen.
33, you're still young. James is still young. So, okay, so my question,
Oh,
Mike,
Yep.
I've seen all those pictures of you dressed up in all those crazy outfits. What was the first year you started doing that, and why did you stop?
I actually dressed up when I was actually a kid. There's pictures of me that my mom has. So I started young because I've loved Halloween all the time. The first time that I dressed up as a quote unquote adult, and there might be pictures of me. I dressed up as the Joker for the premiere of the Batman movie
Uh-huh.
when the movie theater was still in Cordova Mall. And I did it every year, and I when I got to a certain age, and like when I moved to Gainesville for a few years, stuff like that, it's when I really just I felt like I had done my time with the makeup and the dressing up and everything else. I wanted to enjoy Halloween and haunts in a different way. So that's even when I was at Jackson with that haunt, I didn't want to. Even the few times I participated, I literally would just go in there and scream at people dressed in jeans. But
I mean,
Um,
depending on where you at in that haunt, it didn't matter. There's some dark
Yeah.
areas and you can just stand there and
Yeah.
scream at people. I mean, hell, people thought I was in the haunt, and I'm like, no, no.
but that was but that's really it. I mean, now, this is gonna sound weird, but I would do masks again. I would love to dress up again, but to do makeup on my face because I've gotten older and I have to be more protective of my eyes. Um,
Right.
I have to be. That's why, like, when we worked at Spirit Halloween, I would look at those fuckers putting those nasty things on their heads that everybody else had had on. We talked about that, and they would drop them on the
Oh
floor, and you're just like,
gosh.
I mean, this Spirit Halloween in town will start like a pink eye pandemic in Pensacola. That's
Hmm.
exactly what I was thinking. And so I guess it's like funny enough, as I've gotten older, I'm more protective of my face and my eyes and stuff like that. That's really it.
I mean, you remember, well, I was the main one on truck day because she liked me having being there and whipping all you guys into shape and getting the shit done. Whenever we would unbox the stuff, I had to tell her, look, I'm putting stuff over here that I'm gonna buy because I'm not gonna put it out on the floor because I don't want thousands of people, wearing it, whatever, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we started having our own. It got to the point where we were all allowed to have our boxes in the back with our name on it because I said, look, I work in the medical industry. All these people that are trying on these nasty clothes, these outfit, all this stuff. Um, I can't do it. Like
No.
trying on a costume after somebody who just tried on the same costume and they're sweaty or whatever. I couldn't do it.
Real quick, James,
I just couldn't do it.
that's very cool. That's very cool. Everybody
Yeah, I
read
was
what
talking about
James put up there.
the clown thing. That's
Ja
that's actually terrifying
and
because
and Jab.
people don't like clowns. And if he was the first one in the industry, I need okay, you have homework now, James. I need to see a picture. Do you have a picture of this?
Oh,
We
that'd be
need a
cool.
picture. We need to see. I'm a very like visual. I like to see pictures. You talk about it. I want to see it. Um,
We
Yes.
we need to get
And Jabby,
James
you're
on here to
right.
talk to him.
Oh, go ahead.
No, no, we need to have him. We need to talk to him.
Spirit
Even if we
Halloween
talk
makes
about
Lee look very
Hellscream.
innocent. Look, this Jabby person. Jabby, do you know me or something?
Yeah, James, we'll contact you and we'll get you on here. And if you got pictures, we'd love to talk to you. And because that's very cool. Jabby, yes, Spirit Halloween literally is the nastiest. It's gross, and it's sad that people, home haunters and all that stuff. Oh my God, I've got Spirit Halloween. It's nasty, and their stuff is actually stolen from mom and pop vendors that like it's well known that people that run or whatever Spirit Halloween will go to Trans World, take pictures of stuff, run back to China or wherever, not making fun of China, and they'll just do knockoffs of stuff that you see at trade shows, and it's a well-known fact. And there's some vendors that have actually sued or tried to, but you have places like Spirit Halloween and Spencer's that have a lot of money, and they will. There's no way to compete. It's like, well, you can try and sue us, and we'll just run you into the ground. And so these vendors that have put a lot of sweat and tears into their products, they get screwed over by places like Spirit Halloween. And I've said this for years. And then Lee and I actually worked together at Spirit Halloween.
It's where I met the
Um,
crazy guy. Oh
yeah,
my God,
that's
y'all!
yeah.
I thought I was gonna lock him in one of them little storage containers. He was driving me nuts one day. I was like, dude, I'm going to lock you in this thing.
Yeah. And she would have done it too. I'm pretty sure I had to do something to escape, um, but no, I do not. I don't go into Spirit Halloween stores because they are nasty. They're disgusting. They're actually like disgusting. Like they shouldn't have Spirit Halloween stores this year because they're that nasty. Um,
Well, I
and
mean,
literally, ugh,
if anything, it's gonna change the way trying shit on. Like,
yeah, that's
I,
just
I mean, you don't please. I mean, masks are gonna be in a think about it. How many people did we visually watch put the same mask on over and over and over and over and over and put it back on the shelf, just walking around? Can you imagine during Rona pandemic that same? Oh Lord, no. Mm-mm.
well. Oh, James, sorry to hear that, man. But I'm glad you're okay. He said the pictures went up with a house fire. Um, yeah, Lee's right. I mean, the biggest thing that we were told is like because people are not only nasty but they're lazy as hell. Is they would take a mask, try it on, the whole family would try it on, then they would throw it on the floor, and so we had to constantly pick these masks up. So the mask would end up on people's faces at least 100 times a day, and it would end up on the floor at least half that time.
And we didn't spray
So,
them down or clean them or nothing. We just put them back
ah,
up where they and I can only imagine what that's going to be like. And I mean, you guys have seen Walmart's Halloween's area. Imagine an entire store like that.
yeah,
I, you
that's
know,
no.
anytime for years, I didn't go into the Spirit Halloween store here locally because of how they not only screwed Mike over, but then they turned around and turned on me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't like the position they put me in with you, but then they turned around and did what they did with me, and it's like, okay, fine. Well, I finally last year was the first year I've actually went in and actually purchased like multiple items. One, they had a lot of Hocus Pocus stuff, which I absolutely love. And then two, they had a lot of Stranger Things stuff that my kids are into, that we were getting, and the fact that they are no longer owned by the miserable couple that owned it.
Oh,
They're
I didn't know that. Really?
yep. The year before last was the last year that Sue managed it, because that was the last year that they were going to own it because corporate took it from them.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I still won't go in there, but
Yeah.
I knew I knew that the corporate were getting ready to absorb a lot of them. I'd
Oh,
heard
they
that
they
several
took
years
it
ago.
from them. Yeah, took it from them. Just straight up, just said, nope, you can't have it. No, you no. So that's why we didn't have as many, as before. However many he had, like Mobile and Destin and all that. There wasn't that many because corporate took it over, and that's the only reason why I went in this year. And number one, anything that I went in, I bought it brand new. Like they just put it on the rack, or I ordered it and had it shipped to the store, type of stuff. Because of that reason, working there um, makes you really think about things. I mean, just like my kids work in the food industry, um, would make you never want to go eat anywhere ever again. Some of the things that they say, I'm like, okay, I don't want to know about these things. And it's the same with these Halloween stores. You just sit there and think, you know, um, this cheap crap that they sell for hundreds of dollars. That how many people have ran their hands on it? How many people ran up to that zombie and whatever with it? You just Am I going to bring that in my house? No, I am not. How many of these different things, because people will go in there and they use the Halloween stores as photo ops. It was cool, and teenagers go in, take pictures of all this crap, and then leave. So I'll be real interested to see how these stores handle it this year, because inevitably with these stores, people go in and you want to try the stuff on. I mean, I don't care what they say, but that large costume is not a large. It's like a small. Because I've actually had to get into like a 3X. And I'm thinking, I don't wear 3X. What the hell? It's because the
Shit.
costume sizes. I know, it's
You
a
could get in a
costume size.
3X sideways and still have room.
But apparently in the costume world, you cannot.
Yeah,
A
I don't
3X
need a
is a
costume to
large.
tell me I'm fucking big. That's a bunch of shit.
But I mean, it's kind of like, just because I wear, a small, a medium, or whatever normal, I can't go into a costume store and grab that large and think that's going to fit, because inevitably it will not fit. And I will have to go up multiple sizes because their sizes are screwy. I don't see that happening this year unless I just go ahead and order it and be like, okay, well, this
Well,
one didn't work.
and people they are nasty. I mean, not everybody, but people would use Spirit Halloween like a rental store.
Oh,
They'd go
yeah.
get a
Oh, yeah.
costume, bring it back. You remember?
Oh God, yes, because they would have
Oh,
these, parties. weeks before
Halloween,
Halloween,
yeah.
and then people would bring all the shit back, and it's like, we know you wore this, and just kept the tag on it. We're not stupid. Hey, I
Yeah,
was
we
actually at a costume party with someone who turned it in, and I just kind of looked at her. I didn't give a shit, but I was like, yeah, okay. So I remember.
Yeah, I feel that, Reginald. I feel that.
Okay, what James is saying, okay, back in the 70s, mask and costume were made in box and plastic. Yes, I remember that.
Hold on.
I
Let me
I
get
was
my picture.
absolutely. Wait, you got a
Uh-oh.
picture?
Yep. I gotta add it though. It's gonna take me a second. Remember? You saw I put it up that one time. My Egon Spengler costume came out of the little box.
I had, and I'm trying to find. They have these retro costume places, and I'm trying to find one because I had the witch costume, with the plastic thing and the plastic face, and it's like you could smell polyurethane or whatever it is, and like you were high in like 5 seconds. One of these kids were tripping over everything. It was because we were high.
I think the company, there is a company now that's doing the retro stuff, but I think
know,
that I
but
saw a thing. It's called Halloween in a Box. I think that was the name of the old company that would do stuff like that.
no, Mark, I'm not missing the point. When you can't even get one leg in it, I'm not missing the point. Okay, who's Reginald? Because
Well, I will say when I worked
so
at Universal and
yeah.
when I was doing Halloween Horror Nights, it was nice to have my own costume, and they cleaned it every night,
So you thought they did?
No, you could tell, trust me.
Oh yeah.
You could tell. And I didn't have a mask. I was all airbrush stuff, so
James, I never thought of that. We never let homeless people in the building. Never. I don't recall ever when I worked there, which was a lot. Yeah, no, we never let homeless.
Well, Spirit Halloween's just a nasty story.
Halloween. I'm gonna have to Google that. Halloween in a box, because I really want to find a retro costume to show my children. Hey, y'all got all these cool costumes, and this is what I had. This
I, I,
plastic mask where you couldn't see out of. For shit.
I really do think I think that's what the company that did all those. I think it's what it was called because I saw it somewhere on one of the documentaries that I just watched on Prime, and I could swear they said it was called Halloween in a Box.
I'm Googling.
And there's a company that I'm trying to find for 13 Skeletons that does it again, and it's with the day glow and all that, and the plastic and the slit that cuts your tongue and all that stuff.
Oh my God, I
But
remember that. That was painful.
oh yeah.
Oh, I'm just seeing that they did a documentary.
well,
Is it?
the
'Cause that's all
well,
that's coming up is documentary stuff. I mean, these kids don't know how good they have it. They see these um, costumes that they have now, and people make fun of the stuff that Universal has. But I'm thinking, you guys have no idea. This is awesome. You have no
Re-
idea.
Reginald, Reginald, yes. Halloween City, I think it's owned by Party City.
Yes,
Um,
Halloween City is Party City, because we
yeah,
have one of those here too, and they're the same thing. They rip off each other. Um,
yeah.
and actually, Halloween City is more expensive than Spirit in some cases. Because I was looking for 80s themed stuff, and I went to both, and the same thing cost almost $3 more at Halloween City, and it was the same piece of shit. And I was like, wow, I could just make this for a lot cheaper. Um,
All right, I just put that picture up. It'll pop up on the stream in a minute. This is my childhood Halloween costume. Plastic suit with the strap-on plastic mask that had the hole cut out in it.
I don't know how many times did you like stick your tongue through it,
Every
get
time.
it stuck,
Every
get
time.
it stuck, and then be like, I'm not gonna do it again. And then like 5 seconds later, you do it again because you just can't not do it.
Yep. And the nose holes were there but did nothing.
They weren't where they needed to be. But yeah, I mean, I tell my kids all the time, I was really impressed with the costumes that the Killer Clowns had. Um, I spent more time in the scare zone than anything because of the fact that number one, that was the only scare zone where I actually felt like I was in the movie because they had that one street scene where they were out there out sea. But I was just looking at the different masks and stuff. Even though that was such a retro film because that was back in the 80s, just look at the mask and stuff some of these guys made. These kids are growing up with all this CGI stuff. I mean, Tom Savini is like the man, but they don't understand that the costumes that they can buy and the masks that they can buy are nothing like what we had. All right, where'd you post the picture?
It was on the stream.
Is it on there?
Hold on, I'll put it back. It's gonna take there's a 12-second delay, so
Did I miss it?
just hold on. It'll be back.
Lee, I see what you mean about that Halloween in a box. But somewhere in
Yeah,
that
it's just
movie,
documentary stuff.
and somewhere in there, they're going to mention, I haven't seen it then. They mention who the company was. Let me see if I can. It just shows you how much I pay attention to stuff.
It's up there, Nelly.
What?
The picture. I was telling Lee it was up on the stream.
Oh.
Where,
was like-
man? What picture? I'm not seeing
What
the
are you
picture.
talking about?
She may have to refresh the page. I had to do that a couple times.
All right, refresh the page then.
Gosh, just so do this, do that.
Yes, it's so hard to refresh the page.
It is when like your internet's screwing up because you got tornado warning. Gosh.
Oh, that's cool. The companies were Ben Cooper Inc., Collegeville, and Halco. I'm going to screenshot that.
Did
I'm
you
in my
ever
own
have
little
any
world.
Kooky Spooks, Lee?
Huh?
See, nobody remembers Kooky Spooks, man. I swear to God.
Kooky spooks?
Kooky Spooks. They were these inflatable things you put on your head.
Was that-
One, I would have never put anything inflatable on my head. Oh, okay. Dude. Kelly. Okay, so I see the picture. Yes, that is an awful, awful outfit. But yes,
Thanks.
that is exactly what we would wear. Those awful outfits.
That was my favorite
mean-
Halloween costume, Lee.
Well, yeah, I would wear it too. Like I would wear it now. I mean, and that's what I was trying to tell the kids. I was trying to tell them that a lot of these costumes that you guys see, y'all got all these new things going on, whereas I had this piece of shit plastic thing that sometimes you had to get it out of the box and it was all wrinkled and crinkled,
And it'd
and
rip.
it's not like yeah, you go put it on and it's like, oh well, you can't exchange it because well you ripped it. You would get halfway through the night and you would have your ass hanging out of it because it was ripped. And I grew up in the South, so we didn't wear much underneath because it's hot.
Yo. We don't want to hear that. Yo. By the way, James on the thing said it is Halco. He actually has an original box.
Halco?
By the way, Lee, some of us did wear clothes underneath our damn costumes.
Right? I'm very clearly wearing a shirt under
Hot
mine.
dog.
I said
And underwear.
And I
didn't say,
was further south than you, so I don't want to hear
mean,
about how hot it
was in-
was.
I was in New Orleans.
I
Okay?
was in the
That's
middle
the
of
bowl. That
hot
is
ass
hot.
Florida.
No,
There's no
nothing-
excuse.
no, nothing beats hot Florida. Nothing.
That's what I'm
Nowhere,
saying.
No how. Nowhere. It's hot. Nowhere beats New Orleans heat.
Well, it's not, let me dangle my parts out underneath my plastic costume hot. Where's
I had-
God?
Look.
Where's my underwear?
I had biker shorts on
It's getting
and
worse.
usually like a tank top. I was like 9, you freak. I was like 9, okay. But I was a very like
Free
shy,
spirit.
no, very shy girl. So like when mine would rip and like my butt was hanging out, even though I had biker shorts on, I felt naked. So half the time I was holding the stupid plastic costume. The other time I had the mask because I couldn't breathe and couldn't see. So these kids have no idea, no idea. And then all this makeup stuff and this, I'm in this one horror group where they post where they're practicing their art makeup, and sometimes I don't see that it's the group that when I'm scrolling by, and all of a sudden I see this person posting this picture that looks like they need to be in the hospital like right now, and I realize it's in this horror group, and they're practicing their makeup. We didn't have none of that. We had jelly, ketchup. Every now and then we would use, we did chocolate syrup. We didn't have any of this stuff that they have now.
I don't
But
know what the heck. So you walked around half naked with foodstuffs on you. What? I mean, what kind of Halloween did you actually participate in New Orleans?
New Orleans, hello.
Non-pandemic New Orleans.
Non-pandemic New Orleans. I mean, damn. Were you not listening? We
Yeah,
freaks in New
that's.
Orleans.
I've been to New Orleans. But trust me, I know. I mean, I'm glad I didn't know you during your chocolate-covered, half-naked
Daisy Dukes.
costume phase.
I was
Jesus.
I was 9. God, I hope you didn't know, but that's just weird.
She had the Daisy
No, that's
Spooks.
the
Daisy
Daisy Spooks.
Wait,
God, I was
I
walking down the
remember.
street with Cheese Whiz on me.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't even
see?
Halloween.
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
Look, I don't want to know about your freaky time at the rainbow section of Bourbon Street, okay?
that's all you right there.
No. Okay, so
No.
James, yeah, I agree. Now, if you're out past 8 o'clock trick or treating, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, you can't be out there at 2 a.m. anymore. You get cops called on you and stuff. Like, I mean, hell, I mean, I remember we used to start at 6 and wouldn't get back home till almost midnight. We were little kids. But now, shit, you start at 5 and you back home at 5:30. I mean, and that's saying it lightly.
Lord.
New Orleans sounds kind of what?
Suspect.
Suspect.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm not up on the lingo. I guess it is very suspect.
It's very suspect. To this
Well, I
day,
mean,
it's very suspect.
well, we should do. We should have a Haunters Anonymous. Like I can't even talk and I ain't even drinking. Haunters Anonymous, like meetup in New Orleans.
Huh.
In the non-murder section, I get you non-murdered.
Is that Lee? Is that places on Canal?
No, you get murdered on Canal.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
You would have more luck staying on Bourbon Street than Canal.
That's
You
true.
don't inspect your stuff for razors, Mark? You should, because these people are freakier this year. Oh, so he's gonna, yeah. When I worked at the hospital, we had one year where they had the kids bring in the candy, and I don't know why they were doing this. We were a friggin' busy ass hospital, and for free inspection. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? So they took it to the. I'm like, how are we gonna smell it? I don't know.
Running through
So
the X-ray machine.
Apparently, yeah, and I didn't know that, and I was like, that's my first year that we've done that, and I can't even tell you the shit we found in these things here, and that was just like 10, 15 years ago. Needles, razor blades, staples. I'm like, there's some messed up people in this world. So even if I went out, trick or treating now in this state, I would look. And matter of fact, I wouldn't trick or treat really in a lot of places. There's only a few places I might even think about going, and even then, it's a little suspect. I mean,
Shit. New Orleans, if they're going to do stuff like that, New Orleans, they'll just take hypodermic needles and slightly drizzle chocolate over them and think that's their sneaking candy. They're like, oh, okay.
yeah, they
This
Maybe I don't
candy
need to
tastes
have
like
this.
burning.
yeah, there's there was there's a
I'm
lot. I
in
mean,
danger.
I'm in
we
danger.
had
That's
we
good.
had a kid we had a kid come in. He was like 5 or 6. He ate 2 pieces of candy that from the trick or treating. He ate 2 pieces of candy and went into having a seizure. Apparently, someone put drugs in the candy because
Ooh.
he still had part of the candy in his hand, and his mom, um, when it fell on the ground, he was having a seizure in the back of the car or whatever. She picked it up and saw that there was something not right about it. Took him straight to the emergency room. Sure enough, he had, I forget what drug it was, but it was laced pretty heavily with whatever it was. So, and that's easy to do because I mean you just stick it in the wrapper and you just inject it and you don't even open the wrapper up. I mean
Okay. Okay, Carol Baskin.
hey, look. So yeah, he got arrested in the parking lot of the hospital that I worked at.
Yeah, I gotta admit,
He
when I was a kid, I thought I was gonna be given like drugs for free way more often than the 0 times that I have as an adult.
Oh, well, then y'all didn't grow up in New Orleans. Yeah.
Now we know
Yeah.
everybody's
Uh-oh.
murdering each other in New Orleans. These drugs are
Well,
just rampant. They're giving them out for free.
well, I mean, yeah.
I
I
got
mean,
chocolate covered ecstasy.
oh, that shit's good. I mean, think about
Sure.
it. Look.
Okay. Whoopity doo.
Well, I don't do that no more.
Oh my God.
It's only been
Okay,
like.
Lisa, everybody. You're you're horned up travel agent.
Let me go ahead and
Um.
unpin the travel agent link.
Oh Lord. Oh, that
No.
was like I was like, how old was I? 14? No. Yeah, I was a teenager. Shoot. I mean,
I'm. Jeez.
okay.
I'm in danger.
It's only been an hour. Okay, no, no. So, I mean, gone are the days where you could do things like that and not get arrested. I mean, now like, you get arrested for stuff like that.
This is totally side note. I know that when I worked at Seville Quarter, in the late '80s, early '90s, I know that I know all the drugs that those goth people took came straight from New Orleans, like all the ecstasy they did and all that other stuff. They're like, "Yep,
And
shipment from New Orleans." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's great."
why? How do you know that?
Because I used to work at Seville, and they used to have Club Chaos on Tuesday nights, and I mean, I knew everybody that came to Club Chaos, and that literally at midnight I had the doorman and the security asking me what's wrong with it. What happens at midnight, and all of a sudden these people get this weird? I'm like, because at midnight they all start taking ecstasy.
Oh,
Yeah, and then they're like, why is everybody smoking clove cigarettes? I'm like, because that's how they hide the marijuana, and because they all told me this stuff, and I
well,
said,
that's yeah.
just leave them alone. And this was before there was bottled water, because that's how fucking old I am, thanks, Lee. Um, But and so they're like, why is everybody coming up and getting glasses of water? I'm like, because they're on ecstasy. I just told you this shit. And they get it from New Orleans. Then I was like about 12:30, I'd be like, just stop asking me questions.
Yeah, I mean,
I never
dang.
did it. I didn't do that shit, but I just wow, holy crap, we just went
Wait,
around the world.
wait,
What haunted
wait.
attractions are open? I don't know. It's ecstasy.
Well, wasn't
You're
back in the
basically a
80s?
dinosaur.
What was that haunted? What was that haunt that they had back in the 80s? And I know you'll know this. That was in New Orleans that the sheriff's department did. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God, I do, but I can't remember the name of it.
That thing was fucking wicked. Like the lines were ridiculous. Like the prisoners were the ones that were the actors, the ones that were on good behavior. Um, you know, they were the actors, and I remember seeing them get off the bus in their outfit and they're like I was like, I don't know, 9 or 10, and the bus would pull up and like this whole busload, and you knew it was a sheriff's bus. They pull up and all these guys come out in their little jumpsuits, go into the back, and I remember asking my dad, "What is going on?" Because he knew a lot of the NOPD and all that, which is how I got away with a lot of stuff. He he said, "Oh, well, the guys that are in there that's gonna scare you are the prisoners," which scared the shit out of me, because I'm thinking, what? What do you mean? Like murderers and stuff? And of course, my dad went with it and was like, "Oh yeah, the guys with the chainsaw." I mean, he just went for it. So I remember growing up that like every year we went to that. I mean, we started going very young, and I went every year until they stopped really doing it. I don't remember something happened, and one of the prisoners got out or something. I don't even know, but they ended up stopped doing it because no one would volunteer. They had to stop using the prisoners because the prisoner got out. So, and nobody would volunteer because they would go on for hours and they would do it for days and days. And no, who's going to volunteer for that crap?
Could you imagine that shit happening today? Stuff that happened back then and like the way people are now. God, dude, it was literally like the Thunderdome back then.
I mean, it was definitely, that was my first experience with like a haunt that scared the shit out of me, was my dad telling me that there's prisoners in there with chainsaws, which they did. They had chainsaws because, they had the, whole fake thing. And I'm sitting there thinking those are the murderers, and they're going to get me. But I know you know which one I'm talking about. I can't remember.
No, I do. I'm trying. Well, I'm trying to think. Well, I'm trying. Sorry, I'm trying to think who I can ask about that too, because I do remember it. But
okay.
yeah, you can't go in. You can't. I think I do remember that, but
Mark, that's saying it lightly. Okay.
People smoking clove cigarettes and smelling like patchouli.
Jabby, that's very true.
Spanked. People get spanked these days. What?
It's sparked. Damn it, Lee.
That's what it says.
God, oh, yes.
I can't reach. I'm trying to reach. Let's see.
Well, that's true. Lee's childhood does sound more disturbing than.
See, look, he did say spanked.
Patchouli words.
Shit. That is not how you spell patchouli, is it?
He doesn't believe patchouli is the thing. He thinks it's made up.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't believe patchouli is actually.
It does sound made up, but I know enough Wiccans and shit that they got some weird shit, so that sounds like it would be real to me. But
Oh, that's true. Reginald, people are a lot more punchy. That's the sad part about haunts these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could not imagine the haunt that I'm describing ever being something now, because they actually had some scenes in these haunts that were actually, I mean, for my mom born and raised Southern Baptist, and I was raised Southern Baptist, and for my mom to allow this was really shocking. But my entire family loves horror, like from my grandparents, my grandmother. I mean, it's just my grandfather. We just horror in the mind. So she wasn't gonna not let me go to a Halloween, thing. But some of the scenes, imagine this happening now, and I'm because oh my God, everybody get offended by it, and some of the stuff that's going on, and some of the things that the scare actors would do. Yeah, somebody would get punched, somebody would get something, and then to find out that all these people were prisoners didn't exactly help. Kind of scared me a little bit. But, I mean, that was I grew up with that, and I mean, I grew up in New Orleans, so horror is all the time. It's not just Halloween. It's all the time. There's a part of what I enjoy doing is going to graveyards. There's a word for that. We will seek out graveyards in other towns just because they're interesting, the history and everything. Well, grew up in New Orleans. That's just the thing. What? What? No, it's just you. Hang on a minute.
Is Lee? What the hell is Lee site? Okay, Lee, what are you doing?
Citing. Are you citing your sources, Lee?
No.
I don't know what that was. Is Lee?
Cutting out. I figured that's what she was saying. I can read minds. I got you, Kelly. I don't know. Am I?
I didn't hear it.
Cutting out. Kelly, no, she was talking about
It's just your jacked up Comcast shit.
Comcast. The owner of Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Hey.
But no, if you can ever imagine, okay, what the hell is that? Anne Rice, we went to her Halloween party growing up.
Yeah.
That was a trip. That was many years ago.
Did you ever go to House of Shock before it changed, Lee?
I think I did years and years ago, but I don't remember. It sounds familiar. But again, like, I mean, I don't remember because I know they've been around for like forever. And
Yeah,
if it's what
well, go ahead.
if it's one of those
God, I'm trying. Oh, it's on.
haunts,
You know what? It's on Butternut. I think it's on Butternut Street or Butter something Street, and it's by the elevated train tracks, and it's like 2 or 3 warehouses. I mean, it's not. It's gone now.
yeah.
It's something else.
I think
Matter of fact,
yeah, so I'm saying I think years and years and years and years and years ago I went, but I was bad when I was younger, so I don't remember some things.
Oh, here we go.
So
We're going around the world league.
Well, hey, I'm just being honest. I probably did, knowing that if it was a haunt and it was anywhere near, I probably did. No, I've never been to 13 Gate, but I want to. Reginald was asking about that.
13th Gate is awesome.
Is that the one that's in Baton Rouge? Baton Rouge? Yeah. See, for me to go to 13 Gate, that would be the only thing we did. Because it is, what, a 4-hour drive from here. And then back, because we wouldn't spend the night. And I just don't. I kind of look at it as I don't feel that it's worth my time to drive. I mean, I don't know. Plus, I see all the hype that it gets on the Travel Channel and shit, and I'm kind of like, I mean, I don't know if I want to go spend that kind of money, that long drive, and then it not be what it is.
No, 13th Gate, and I'll be damned, I can't remember. There's a haunt in Tickfaw, and now I can't remember what it is, which is crazy. One year I went to Mortuary, House of Shock, the one in Tickfaw, and then 13th Gate in one night. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's a lot of driving. Like,
that's a lot of driving.
Well, and the thing about those haunts, though, they're not just at night. They're aren't they like throughout the day?
No, Mortuary did haunt tours, but I mean, House of Shock, House of Shock they were all pretty much at night. I mean, they were all night haunts. I mean, it was.
And you did that much driving?
Yeah, we didn't get back because we were staying in New Orleans. Actually, we were staying in Metairie. I was staying at my cousin lives in Metairie, and my God, we didn't get the last one we did was the one in Tickfaw, and God, I can't remember the name of it, but we didn't get back to Metairie until like 3 a.m.
Damn, that's a lot.
It's a lot of driving.
Yeah, it's kind of almost for me. I don't know. I'm just not into like all that driving around. I mean, are any of the haunt Comic-Con things or whatever you call them, are those all canceled?
Yeah, they're all. The one that's up next is HauntCon in January, but all the other ones seem to be canceled. Even Midwest Haunters, I think all of them have been canceled.
Yep, Spooky Empire canceled. They moved to August, but we'll see.
That's right.
We'll see where they land on that.
Isn't Spooky the one that's in Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the one I was actually gonna try and go to this year, since Dylan lives there.
It's more like random stuff and like meet actors than it is anything on the level of like Transworld or anything.
Lee, the one I
Yeah.
think you would have liked, but they're moving it again, is Hong Kong and the Halloween and Party Expo was in New Orleans for a few years. They moved from Texas to New
Yeah,
Orleans.
I saw
I think
that,
they're
and
you'd have liked that. That was Hong Kong is kind of smallish, but Halloween Party Expo bought them from Leonard Pickle. But the Halloween Party Expo, if you want to know everything that Spirit and everybody else is gonna put out, that's Halloween Party Expo. Well, not everything because they still, but God, that was huge. That was some awesome stuff. But now
yeah,
they're moving
Comic-Con
again.
canceled. I saw that. Yeah, I was looking at the one that's in Orlando. You know, like I said, Dylan living there, and you know, hey, free place to crash. I was actually thinking about going to just to kind of get my toe wet with it, since I've never been to I've never been to anything like that. Not even so much as Pensacon, which, oh, I kick myself in the foot every time I think about the chance that I had to go to the Pensacon when they had Tom Savini. I could not believe it, and I didn't go.
Right.
And I didn't go. I still, that to me, that was the only year I would ever think to have gone. The rest of the years, whatever. You know, these C, D, E, F, G actors that they got coming up now. I'm not, has been. That's, you know, you don't even know who the hell they are, kind of actors. But man, when they got Tom Savini, like, what the hell? Like, who did they pay to get that?
I got to hang
And
out with him at Universal. He was just
oh
hanging
damn,
around in the back. I was like, "Oh, what's up,
Oh
man?"
wow.
Yeah, that's when I
is
was
that when you
working
were
there.
working?
Yep.
Yeah, like there's a few people in that, like, I would be like, oh my god, you were awesome, and he would be one of them. Um, there's just a few, because he's been around for freaking ever. But so I thought, just out of if I'm gonna go to any of these little nerd cons, as my kids call them, because they're all nerd cons, I was gonna go to the Halloween one, and my son said, yeah, well, you ought to come to the one that's the Halloween one that's here. And I thought, yeah, I should, because a friend of mine went, and she said she really enjoyed it. They've got packages you can book and all that. I thought about going to the one in Los Angeles, Reginald, the Nerd Con over there, whatever it's called. But damn,
The
that shit's
NerdCon,
expensive.
San
That's the
Diego
one kids.
Comic Con's the.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't step
that's
foot in that place if they paid me $100,000.
yes, with my weird friend. Yeah. Why not? Why would you
There's
say
too
that?
many people. I would have an absolute shit fit with all those people. Like, I'm all about the nerd culture. I love it. I've got, I'm a
Right.
collector of nerdery, but
Right.
I
That's
am
probably why we all
not
get
going
along.
to San Diego
But
Comic Con.
that's the only one that that my kids said that they would ever go to, would be that one. And I'm like, that was my first thought too, is like, that's the one everybody goes to. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
for me, standing in line for hours and hours just to get in the door or whatever, no, does nothing for me. But that's the main one. That's like the one that's been around for however many years. Um, but I knew, like, if I was gonna do any, that these Halloween ones, and I knew about the one that they had in New Orleans, and I kicked myself for not even attempting, because I had friends that went, and they're like, yeah, you can come, stay with us and whatever, and we got them a hotel room right there at the convention center.
Too many virgins in one big place. Well,
Well, that's when you go get a sacrifice. I mean, perfect place to find a sacrifice. Okay, all right.
I actually got to smoke a cigarette with George Romero at the
That's another one that I would be
FX
like,
show
oh my god, that would be
down
another one.
at the Florida Fairgrounds. It was
Oh
like,
shit, are we dying because we got, like, the TV's got warnings and shit going on?
are we dying? Maybe, yeah. Should probably
Hang
pay
on a minute.
attention.
Lee, if you
What
look at the weather radar, then
Oh yeah, we're dying. We got.
yeah.
Maybe we ought to wrap this one up for the night so you guys can.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got.
we can. I mean, it's not. I mean, we can since it's getting late.
I do want to
I mean,
thank everybody that's been active in the chat tonight. You guys have really killed it.
That
Oh,
was more
yeah.
fun.
We
I mean, I
appreciate
never,
you.
this is, look, I was a virgin to these things. I am not anymore. Whoop, whoop. No, I mean, when I told my kids that I was going to do that, they're like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. You know them podcast things you guys do. I don't know. I'm going to be talking on it. And they're like, oh, what? I'm like, I don't know. All kind of shit. Stuff. I don't know.
And that's true.
I told my travel agency, I said, so I guess I'm going to be on talking about travel stuff. So is there anything you guys want me to mention? And, so she was like the owner of the company, granted we're all independent agents, so but we are under her name and stuff. So she's like, oh yeah, she said let us know when, and we'll tune in. I went, yeah, no, um this isn't your kind of people. They kind of special. And
Well, shit. Lee, we want you to talk about pandemic New Orleans and how not to get killed there.
I can get you not murdered. I mean, I thought we established that. But at some point in our friendship, we have got to go to New Orleans together, because I know places that I don't know of, and vice versa.
Jeez.
Which is scary.
Lord help us. Lord help us.
Right? We would have to make sure somebody has enough bail money, because I don't know it. Well, no, wait, I know NOPD now. I got a hookup, so we might be okay.
I don't think we'll need bail money.
I mean,
I think
we're not gonna get caught. Just don't get caught, right?
Well, we're gonna need Neosporin.
Yeah,
I don't know what
a lot of penicillin.
And Band-Aids.
Yeah, we're gonna need penicillin for sure. We're gonna need it. When they say you need to get shots before you go to other countries, they really mean it when you go to certain parts of New Orleans, for sure.
Especially the pandemic version.
Yeah, pandemic version. Yeah, but no, I was telling the travel agent. I said, yeah, these aren't your normal kind of people. So, yeah, you probably wouldn't be interested in anything we have to talk about. Because they know I love horror as much as I do, and I said it's gonna be a little bit of everything. And so she's like, well, that's all I needed to know is when you said that they were special, and I put you guys in quotation marks, because you're all my weird friends. She realized right then, yeah, this is probably not.
No house of mouse.
No, and I told her, I said, I mean, all these guys know that I'm going to be honest, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. That's just how it is. We ain't booking a stay at Disney and needing fast messages. If you need free tickets, you contact Mark. Okay.
Not anymore.
He's just on.
Oh, God.
Damn.
Lord.
Wow. Okay. That was wrong. James. Damn. Damn. I was trying to get you to hook up, and look what you did. I mean, damn, man. Exactly, Mark. You can't go nowhere now. No free tickets to Bazinga. Nowhere. But no. If and when he ever does go back to work.
God.
To his pool. You got a pool? You holding out on us? Damn, he's got a pool, y'all. Shit, party at his house. Damn, man, we didn't know that. We need to know where he lives. We can get it. But no, I told her, I said, I'll be as respectful as I can, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I mean, if they ask me questions, I'm going to tell them, travel agents are being screwed, left and right. Now, the vendors are changing their policies. They're screwing us left and right. They're not issuing refunds fast enough. And so what's happening is clients are getting pissed, and instead of waiting for their refund, they're contacting the credit card company and doing a chargeback. And when they do that, that comes against us personally. Yeah. So then it looks like it's a fraudulent thing, and then we have to get our insurance involved, which is really bad, because then it comes out of my pocket. Because because there is a deductible for each insurance claim that you have to file towards our insurance that protects us. So yeah, travel agents are being screwed left and right because
That
these
sucks.
vendors. Yeah, luckily, thank God, the one time I can say I'm happy I didn't have anyone booked currently, other than the ones that are booked for like July and past. I didn't have anyone booked during this time frame that this pandemic happened. And that's the first time I was like the most excited about being a travel agent because I'm just watching all these people, you know, getting screwed left and right. One lady's got $10,000 on hold because she has gotten chargebacks from the credit card company saying it was fraudulent. Which James will attest. Whenever I book his stuff, I send him the credit card form. I don't care who you are. You're going to sign this form and let me know, yes, it's okay to use my card.
Yep.
Because of that situation. I mean, I have my own family members do that paper, and if they can't do it digitally, I print it out and have them do it because of that reason right there. I don't trust anyone with anything like that because this will come back on us, and unfortunately, you know, travel agents are getting screwed left and right. And for anyone that's never thought about using a travel agent, this is what I want to leave you with. We are a small company, small businesses. We work from home. A lot of people, this is their livelihood. You know, we get paid for helping you with your travel. Why I can't have your credit card? Not you, James, the other James. But you know what? I can help you not get murdered when you go to New Orleans, okay?
She's really selling this whole New Orleans trip, though. I got to tell you.
Because I love New Orleans. I mean, it's just how it is. The murder side and the not murder side. It's all. But if anything that this pandemic has taught anyone, with the fact that the world has been shut down, and I say the world because you can't travel internationally. We need to start shopping small, shopping local, shopping U.S. And that includes, instead of booking your cruise directly with the cruise line, why not use a travel agent?
Yeah, Kelly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kelly.
James. Yeah, James.
Other
Oh, and
James.
James.
Not me.
Yeah, I'm talking to
other
you.
James.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
talking to you. No, I'm talking to you.
Me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
What are you talking to me for?
Didn't you just have a cruise that got canceled?
I didn't even know you did Carnival cruises.
I do everything.
I swear we had a conversation one time and you're like, yeah, but
and I said I did everything.
I don't pay attention to things.
Clearly. Now you've been spanked.
Listen,
now you know better.
You got the next one.
But I mean, you still have complete control over your vacation at any point. If your travel agent pisses you off,
she's working on it.
Mike, I do know where you live, right?
How the hell did I get into this?
Oh wait, that was James that said that.
Well, you know what, Lee? Fuck you. What the fuck? If I'm going to be on a boat, I'll contact you. For God's sakes, if I want to take a goddamn trip to Walmart, I'll contact you to book my trip to aisle 7.
Some of these look, some of these fucking Walmarts are like you're going to another world. So,
Well, I'd rather go to pandemic New Orleans to Walmart.
Hell yeah! Oh God, no. But I mean, think about it though. When you book with the company, they're keeping all the money. When you book with a travel agent, I will book you the same thing and it will cost you the same amount. The only difference is the cruise line or whatever vendor I use will pay me commission for handling it because you're my problem, not theirs. And they'll tell you that, well, you need to contact your travel agent. You need to contact your travel agent. You need to contact, because whatever issues you have, you come to me. And which is what you should do. If you have any problems, any changes, any issues or whatever, I'm there. And like James will tell you, most times I'm available via text, messaging, whatever, email, pretty much any time. Even working the day job, if you text me at 12 at night and I'm like, all right, got that, I'll take care of it tomorrow. You can't call Carnival Cruise Line right now and get anyone. And know that it's taken care of and you can go about your day. Um, and really, there's not anything that's going to cost you because we don't charge a fee. Um, yeah, Kelly. And how long have I known you? Uh huh. Yes, if you get arrested during your vacation, you can call me. And I'm going to tell you, you fucked up. But I will help you figure out what you need to do. And I'm going to laugh because it's probably it's probably something that I would have probably warned you about not doing in whatever country you got arrested in. Just saying. There's some things you don't do when you go on vacation. But I can't tell you those tips until I got your credit card. Well, yeah, this has been fun. I didn't even know you guys did this stuff until you started harassing me the other day. Let me live in denial with my Halloween Horror Nights is going to be open. I mean, fingers crossed it is. Do I really think it is? Honestly, deep down, I think it's going to be cut back a lot. We may not get what the 30th anniversary was going to be. We may not get it, but damn sure I'm going. And I'll probably run into Mark's ass. He won't remember because he'll be drunk. Oh, gosh. But I know. But yes, if you have a Carnival cruise, Royal Caribbean cruise, anywhere really, if you just, hey, Lee, can you book this room? Let me know. I'll let you know if I can or can't, or if I'm interested or not. Because sometimes I'm just like, no, I don't do flights. I will not ever, 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 ever book a flight. For one reason, two reasons actually. One, they are not travel agent friendly, so they do not pay us commission. So I have to charge you a fee, and the fee that I would have to charge you is not something you want.
Now you're breaking up.
Oh, Lee's dead.
No. I think the weather got
Lee's
her.
dead. Well, it's funny because I was getting ready to ask her if she knew anybody in Molino because there's a tornado headed towards Molino. Like there's a tornado on the ground.
Jeez.
We're not anywhere near Molino, but it does look like. At first, I thought there was a tornado warning. We live next to a base that has a big tornado siren, but we are right at the edge of a pretty rough thunderstorm. And if she uses Cox Cable for her internet, well, yeah, she's lost internet. But
the name
it does sound
alone
like
tells
she's
you
gone.
they're fucking you.
Cox
Cable.
That's why I got rid of them years ago. So she might be gone. Like not bad or anything.
She's still in the room.
Chebby said Rona got her. I switched my Chromecast off for a severe weather warning earlier. Oh, she's dead from the twister. Hopefully not. But I think she is gone. So we may, I guess we may, since Lee is sloughed off the face of the earth, she's probably slathering herself. Lee, help! I'm dead. Yeah. Well, I figured maybe you were somewhere slathering food on you and wearing cheap costumes with no underwear.
Taking ecstasy.
Taking ecstasy. But I guess since Lee is dead, apparently, I guess James, I guess we could kind of wind it up because we've gone around the world again. So
we're at 3 hours 48 minutes, and we said we were going an hour and a half. So we're solid.
We're solid. Well, then what we'll do is our normal thing is we'll say thank you to everybody, and you and I'll stay on for a minute or two.
Yeah.
And but everybody, I'm not going to name names, but you all know who you are. The people that were doing the comments, thank you so much. Please come back, James. I'll let you say your whatevers to everybody, and then we'll.
Yeah, guys. So we appreciate you hanging out, talking. We will be on this Wednesday, 9:00 Eastern time. So that's 8 Central, 7 Mountain, and I have no fucking idea what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But
just to let you know, Lee's scared of lightning. That's why she said lightning got her scared, which means I got to go out and look at the lightning.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
And we will have a special guest on Wednesday, so
Yes.
look forward to that. And we will see you guys on Wednesday night. Thanks
Thank
for
you
hanging
all
out,
very much.
and we appreciate it.
See you Wednesday.